type shit.
Stop playing with me, Drake.
DJ K.
Come on, I'm doing shit. Fuck all that. Type shit.
Stop playing with me, Drake.
DJ K.
Come on, I'm doing shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with shit. Type shit. Activities. I'm doing shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with shit. Type shit. Activities. Posted up on the island with a bitch. They call me cause I ain't on that dumb shit. Yeah, I'm rich, but act broke with a bitch. Duval day, I really do it for the kids. Getting checks, never gotta work a job. No Viagra, dick still get hard. I can make your auntie swipe a credit card. OG in the game, realest that you ever. Aunties get down on the floor. Show these poor ass hoes how it go. Back it up like Freak Week 94. If she under 24, it's a no. Come on, I'm doing shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with shit. Type shit. Activity. I'm doing shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with shit. Type shit.
Greetings, people. What's up? Welcome back, nieces and nephews, to Ungry Streaming in Insomniac Theater. We back at it again in the wee hours. Shout out to all my Team No Sleep participants. Let me turn this light on real quick. We gotta get a little brighter in here. Okay, that's a little better. Sometimes the light gets so bright. Let me protect my eyes, my sensitive eyes. Anyway, welcome back to Insomniac Theater, where all the late night people meet and greet. Shout out to the replay game real quick for the people that come back and check Unk out throughout the week. The replay game is greatly appreciated. Shout out to the people that come in and out and watch me live. We're going to have some fun tonight. You know, I know we be on YouTube. We like to watch live shows. We watch these panels, and everything gets so serious, you know. I watched enough arguing content for today. I ain't even participated in a little arguing content. But now it's past midnight. Ain't nobody got time for no arguing. Ain't nobody got time for no fighting. I don't care what the men's is doing, what the women's is doing. They're going to continue to do that shit when we wake up. You feel me? I would say we wake up in the morning, but you know, we team no sleep, so often we don't go to sleep until the morning start, and we usually wake up in the afternoon. I don't know about y'all, but me, because I be up, you know what I'm saying? We up, baby. But yeah, so we're going to have some fun today. You know, as you see in the title, Insomniac Theater, Z is for zombies. Let's make it as long as possible. And we're going to be going through as much information as possible as I got time for, as I can handle. We're going to learn some stuff, run some scenarios, and see, because the thing is, I'm not saying it's going to be a zombie apocalypse, but we just never know when something might happen. The infrastructure, the economy, some virus that's a little bit worse than the COVID-19, whatever. Society crumbles. It's certain shit that's gonna have to be done. It's certain changes gonna be made. And just because society crumble don't mean you might want to tap out. You might want to still survive even though society is crumbled. And that's the kind of information we're gonna run in tonight. Now, there's a lot of it's coming from the zombie perspective, because that's the most entertaining and engaging form of apocalypse or post-apocalyptic world. However, most of the information you're learning will apply across it all. So with that said, let's get this admin stuff out the way real quick. We get this admin stuff out the way, then we'll get to the videos and all that good stuff, man. Talk a little shit.
What's up, nieces and nephews? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share.
If you want to support, hit up my Cash App at $UncB Streaming. Any donation will be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance.
Shout out to all my people checking me out on Rumble. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Show some love, y'all.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break.
Can a nigga get a break? Can a nigga get a break? Zombies, man. A well-loved genre of horror, full of wonder and fascination. People have hours and hours and hours of debates and conversations about this. Sitting around, it could be either from you sitting around at work with your co-workers, you sitting with your cousin, you sitting with your homies, and it, usually when it comes up, it get quite interesting. I think a lot of men like to talk about it because we see that as, a time where we would get to test ourselves. A time where we would get to see who really is that guy. A time to prove to ourselves in the world that we are that guy. Now, a lot of people like to talk about it. Some dudes like to daydream about it. Some people even wish it would happen. And I'm not even joking. There are people walking around that the zombie apocalypse happening would make their fucking day. That's how prepared they feel they are. They feel that the world as it is sucks. There's nobody in this world. But if the zombie apocalypse happen, because they so caught up on shit, that's when they gonna get their time to shine. So there also are people out there that will prefer something to happen, right? But I think it's just interesting to talk about just with the homies, just for fun, man. And again, a lot of people that think they will make it so long just might not. And that can be included. I have a vast well of knowledge from books, movies, video games, audiobooks, shows, but I don't have any practical knowledge. Now I have military knowledge, but I don't have any post-apocalyptic world practical knowledge. But do you really have to have it? Because the thing about that, you only got, when it happens, it happens. So there's no like really test run for post-apocalyptic, really. So who will really have practical knowledge, right? So that don't even make no sense for me to say that when I think about it. But what you can do is do preparation. It won't be no real experience, but if you know what you need to know, what to look for, what you need to do, and how you need to live, you know it, Candy. One of my favorite topics. We gonna survive, Candy. We gonna survive. So, you know what? I might for this show, I might even take the theater screen down and get back zombified real quick, because it's gonna be all zombies all night. For real. So let me get back to there you go, my screen I like to use when I do my zombie talk. But I got several videos lined up for you guys with different concepts, different scenarios that we're going to discuss. I think we all can learn something, myself included. And, you know, it just might. What's the saying? Better safe than sorry. Even if you don't think shit gonna happen or shit ever happen, better safe than sorry always works for me. And it should work for you. It's just a little insurance. Learning a little extra knowledge ain't never hurt nobody. It shouldn't hurt you to get a little post-apocalyptic / zombie knowledge insurance. You know? Shit might save your life. Like, we all know now that as cool as it would be to be Paul Bunyan with an axe chopping through all the zombies, from a video we watched previously, we understand that an axe might not be the best weapon, due to the fact that you chop a zombie in the head, you definitely can peel his fucking muffin top, but the axe would get stuck in the skull. And then now you sitting there trying to jank it back and you get bit, you know, yada yada, all that. But on paper, on theory, and in the movies, the axe looks badass, just like the katana. But we all know we ain't going around here chopping heads off like you know, we some kind of super ninja or some shit. Oh shit. What's up, DJ? What's good, brother? I'm just up here chilling, talking shit, man. Let me know if you want to come up, if you ain't doing nothing. But I know you probably working, but if you do, let me know. I ain't talking about nothing, man. Just this zombie shit. So I'm gonna put up a video for you guys real quick. Let's go ahead and get to it, man. Ain't nothing to it but to do it. I done rambled enough. I got a couple things saved and my good old watch later. We're gonna do this in like some little steps, kind of like we're telling a story, right? So we're gonna start off with the top 10 survival items. Before we get into what you should do and need to do, let's talk about what you need to have first, because it don't matter what you should do and need to do, right, if you don't have the fucking tools to do it. So before we get to the how, let's make sure we're properly equipped before we get to that, if that makes sense. I think it makes sense. It should make sense. I think it makes sense. But no, seriously, I think this is do I like that one, that layout? It's kind of fishy. Which one do I usually use? I usually use that one. We're gonna go with that one. We're gonna put me over here on the right. All right. Top 10 items for the zombie apocalypse. I already know it's gonna be what, like, I don't know. Let's guess some items. Let's guess some items before we watch the show. Let's do that. So, top 10 items for the zombie apocalypse, right? So, if you got your phone, or you got notes in your phone, or you got a really good memory, you don't have to write it down or put it in your mind or put it in your phone. But you don't have to pick 10. as many as you can, because somebody might not come with 10. But then as we go through this video, just play a little game with yourself and see how prepared you would have been, and see how many of that 10 you have on the list. We're just gonna do that for fun. Turn it into a little game, right? So I'm not even gonna say mine out loud because I don't want to point you in any certain direction. I want you to test your skill set on your own. So yeah, write down 10 things, 10 items that you feel you would need for a zombie apocalypse. Then we're gonna watch the video and see how right everybody is. Whoa, this is a lot harder than I thought, yo. Wow. I only coming up with 3 so far, but 2 really. Okay, let me lock in. Let me lock in. Now you gotta remember, 9 times out of 10, I don't know if this stuff that we can carry or not. So I'm thinking bug out bag. You know, a bug out bag is pretty much a bag you keep set up. When apocalypse hit, you grab it, you go, and you go to your spot. So, but it could be like in general. But if you can't make it the first few days, you fucked anyway. So it's best to have the best pack bug out bag possible. I'm almost there. And sometimes you can kind of what's that show? Steve Harvey, Family Feud, this shit, where, you know, if you close enough, you get the answer right. Right? Like, if you said gun and the answer is weapon, a weapon technically a gun, so you got it right. If you said weapon and he said like something to fight the zombies with, like he said a specific weapon, you still technically right. You know, that kind of thing. Give you the answer. So can I bring some poom poom with me? It's poom poom. Y'all think poom poom in the top 10 items for a zombie apocalypse? I don't know. Depends on what your priorities are. I don't think I got 10 right now. See, this is a wise man right here. This right here is a wise man. I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. We're gonna see how many of my got that's on there. Candy Cane, you of course don't have to bring that because you already got one packed, naturally packed with you. You gotta bring the meats with you. See, you come poom poom prepared, but you know, DJ got to figure it out. It's a priority. It's a priority and a necessity. Fat DJ, she talking about no when she already packing the poom poom.
No.
DJ says machete, water supply, antibiotics, dry food like nuts, med kit, flashlight, solar charge is possible, backpack to carry stuff. But yes, a lot of these things are. I got several of these things on my list. Most of them really. We gonna see. Let's see what he's talking about. This is a short video, 4 minutes, so he getting straight to it. I'm gonna pull it up real quick again. And move this down. I like to put it over here. We're gonna do it over here. This is the one I made for it. Where that shit at? Oh, here it is. Let's go.
During the zombie apocalypse is essential for survival. You have smart people that bring stuff that they actually need, like water and food, and then you have the stupid people that bring their Xbox. So join me as I tell you the top 10 things that you will need on today's episode of ZMZ Reloaded. If you read the comments on zombie survival blogs or videos like mine, then you should know that there is always that one person that believes he is a zombie expert, but really just sounds like an idiot. But what makes it worse is they don't even know it. So to aid them and to help you guys out, I've come up with a top 10 list of 10 items you'll need for the zombie apocalypse if you want to survive. Okay, so how this works is I'll tell you the top 10 items that are a must-have. But keep in mind that just because an object is number 10 doesn't mean it's not important. It just means it's not important as some of the others. So let's begin. Number 10, hygiene products.
I could care less. Zombie apocalypse, I want to be as funky as possible. I want to damn near smell like one of the zombies. I want to smell like one of the zombies so that they can confuse me with a zombie and won't bite my ass. They're like, that can't be a human. He too funky. They'll be like, hey, that's one of us. You know what I'm saying? I want to smell like that. And but seriously though, like, no, if I water's going to be very limited. Would I love to wash my ass? Would I want to walk around with mud butt and swamp nuts? Hell no.
Oh my God.
But with limited space in my bag, hygiene went across my mind, because if I find a time to clean, I'm gonna just, even if I gotta just jump in the lake or the pond, you know what I'm saying? Or just dance in the fucking rain. If an opportunity come, I'm gonna clean myself. So I don't, and it ain't like important. Like, I mean, DJ might get some hygiene products because, you know, my boy say poom poom a priority, so he got to keep his cell clean and he got to keep the poom poom clean. So I get it. But okay, but yeah, hygiene products, bad. I'm pretty sure no one has that on their list. Maybe Candy did, because as a woman, she might think about bringing feminine products for, you know, situations. But yeah, as dudes, man, we just out here swanging and janging. Swanging and banging.
Making an effort to keep clean and to have good hygiene can make a big impact on survival. Not only will it make survival much easier, but it also helps to prevent infection, skin irritation, and can improve your mood immensely. Number 9, extra pair of clothes. Bringing an extra pair of pants, shirts.
I didn't put that on my list either because I planned to be funky. I just said I want to look like one of the zombies. I can't be walking around smelling clean with fresh clothes on, trying to blend in.
No.
In most movies, books, and novels, depending on who wrote it and how they got the zombie set up, but often sometimes these goddamn zombies be having like bad eyes, but enhanced hearing and smelling sometimes. Sometimes they're trapped by sound and smell and shit. And I don't know what kind of zombie is gonna be, but walking around smelling like a real, like the meat that you just wash. You know how black people, we like to wash our meat. You don't wash the meat for the zombies. You don't wash the meat for them. You walking around with a washed ass body and some clean ass clothes, just smelling delicious. No, I want to smell like ass, balls, and feet with some dirty ass clothes on. A homeless nigga. Think about it. If you was a zombie, would you rather take a bite out of Captain Mudbutt? We'd rather take a bite out of Captain Mudbutt or this pristine, clean motherfucker over here. Think about it. But he said clothes. Now, having a change of clothes, I guess, is cool. But them bitches wouldn't be clean either. I just swap them back and forth when, like, you know, I don't know. I want to let the other one just hang up to dry with the filter crust over or some shit. Now, I'll wash the shit sometimes, but I wouldn't be like worried about washing my ass too much. Cause he right, you don't want to get like diseases and shit and all that.
And socks can really give you a head start in survival. Not only will it give you something to change into when you get wet or get zombie blood on you, but it also can be used to help tie things together and to help stop bleeding. Number 8, duct tape. Duct tape is an extremely versatile tool. You can use it to hold things together, seal something up, or just create something out of it. In fact, Mythbusters proved that you can survive on a deserted island by only using duct tape in season 10. Number 7, camper's utility knife. Having a knife is great, but what makes a camper's utility knife even better is it offers more than just a knife. It's also a corkscrew, can opener, spoon, fork, Phillips head, flathead, pliers, and more. It's pretty much a toolbox and a knife. Number 6, backpack. Having something to carry around all your stuff is very important.
I didn't put backpack because I just assumed that was expected. That's why I didn't pick it, because I figured if you carrying all this stuff, you got a backpack. But yeah, that would have filled up my list if I put backpack. But in my mind, I already had to. In my mind, I was envisioning like I had the backpack and the stuff that I wanted to put in it. But I didn't forget that the backpack need to be one of the things that I bring.
You're traveling from place to place. Not only do you need a backpack to carry around your essential items, but it also keeps your hands free in case you're in a dire situation. Number 5, flashlights. Candles in a bonfire are great for illuminating an area that you are in. But when you have to move around in a dark place,
I definitely had that one. But spoiler alert, if he said flashlight, he gotta say batteries or something. I'm just saying.
for whatever reason, a flashlight can be the difference between you walking out alive or you walking out dead. Number 4, a medical kit. Getting injured is going to be one of those things that are unavoidable during the zombie apocalypse. Having a medical kit will help.
I definitely put first aid kit. I put flashlight. I had knife. I should have went duct tape. It crossed my mind, but instead I picked rope. It don't look like rope's gonna make it. I got batteries, weapons, and I have a map. I have a map on my list. I don't know. Maybe just need to know where to go. Do niggas really know how to read maps these days? Do niggas really know how to read maps? That is the question.
No! God, please, no! 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 No!
Niggas be having the map upside down and shit. Oh shit! Like, hold up. You gotta go east to the west to the south.
Prevent reoccurring injuries, make serious injuries more standable, and help make survival a little bit easier. Number 3, lighter or matches. Lighters and matches are needed for many reasons. Boiling water, cooking.
That's a must-have. If your list didn't have that on it, you sure ain't gonna make it. Man, that food look good than a bitch. God damn. I looked up, that shit caught me off guard how delicious that shit look. Freaking nigga want to go barbecue tomorrow. Shit. Maybe I'm just hungry. Man, shit. Goddamn edible got me going. That shit look delicious. Got a little fish up there. Ooh. You know how I cook like that, Candy Cane? That's how you be cooking. That's how you throw down on the grill.
Food, keeping an area lit, whether it's by candles or a bonfire, and to keep you warm. Sure, you can make a fire with a pair of glasses, some sticks, and other means, but sometimes you won't have sunlight, the time, or energy to make it. So a lighter and matches will make it much easier until you find a more convenient way. Number 2, a weapon. A weapon is way up here on the list because, let's face it, it's a zombie apocalypse. Danger is going to be lurking around every corner, whether it's a zombie, a person, or some animal you have to take out. Having a reliable weapon like a gun.
Definitely, that should have been on everyone's list. Even if it's just a fucking table leg. You feel me? Even if the fucking leg off a goddamn table, that's better than using your dusty ass knuckles. I don't care how many hands you got. You gonna punch a zombie in the mouth and fuck around and get bit.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Now y'all fucked up because you thought you was an MMA fighter with the zombies.
Or a melee weapon of some kind can really mean the difference in survival. And number 1, bottled water. You might think it sounds cliche, but there's a reason why.
Oh, let's see what we got here. How did y'all score? How did y'all make it? I got I got 6 out of 10 on the list. I got 6 things out of 10. Not terrible, but not great. You don't want to be slightly above average when it comes to preparing for the apocalypse. Candy says I survived. Candy, you always think you surviving. How many you got out the 10? Last time we did this, Candy was like, I survived. But hey, listen. You gotta believe in yourself. In the apocalypse, confidence can be your superpower as long as you ain't got too much. Oh shit, yeah, she had an extra tool. You're right. God damn, she got me. Fuck. Check and motherfucking mate.
No.
Candy Cane got that poom poom. Niggas ain't gonna let her die. They ain't gonna let her turn to a zombie. They'll be diving in front of shit, pushing motherfuckers into the zombies to save her. All kinds of shit. God damn, she right. That poom poom like plot armor in the zombie apocalypse. Shit. Keep you fed and protected.
Water is always number one. Water is one of the most important things for survival. Without water, we'd probably die within a week and probably sooner depending on how much we had and how much energy we used. During that time, our bodily functions will begin to shut down. You will become extremely exhausted, start suffering from headaches, throat pains, muscle spasms, kidney failure, and hallucinations. So it is incredibly important that you carry bottled water with you. The more, the better. But always make sure that you ration your water and collect it when you can. So there you have it. Those are the top 10 items you'll need to survive the zombie apocalypse. These 10 items were picked using common sense, zombie survival websites and blogs, the CDC's blog for surviving the zombie apocalypse, and some help with Chuck from Zombie Go Boom. But we're at the end of today's show, so if you found it helpful or entertaining, remember to hit that like button. Post a comment now.
But there you go, people. Some of the things on the list of the top 10 things you need to survive. I wasn't really feeling the hygiene, and I wasn't feeling the change of clothes. What I would replace them with for my list, a map of the city, as the biggest possible. You need to know where to go. Sometimes when decisions are made, you know, you can't count on your GPS and your cell phone and all that shit. Them days over with, right? That shit's gonna be down at some point. If you can even keep your phone charged. And I put rope on my list. You'll be amazed how useful a nice little rope will be. You could do so much rope. You could tie shit together, tie people up. You can create weapons with the rope by, tying something to one end and swinging that shit like that. You can strangle a motherfucker with the rope. You can whip a motherfucker with the rope. You can use the rope as a belt. You can use the rope to climb down in some shit. If you get creative and tie something to it and make it like a grappling hook, you can use the rope to climb up some shit. If you good with it, you can use the rope to lasso a nigga and snatch him down. That's why rope on my list. Look at all them uses for that rope. I bet when I first said rope, y'all was like, what this Negro talking about? Till you saw, till I broke it down about the amazing potential of the motherfucking rope. So, next up.
This theory is one of the most hotly debated in the war against the undead.
We're gonna do so we got the 10 items, right? And you got your stuff. So what's next, right? Where the fuck you gonna go? You got all this stuff. Where you gonna go? Are you gonna stay in your home? Or are you gonna go to a location and set up shop there? Now, it's several locations, always in the movies. He played Resident Evil 2. If you don't recall, they did it at the police station. The police station, the whole gang was in the police station, well, the vast majority of it. And, so people always like, police station got guns. They got cafeteria. It's a sturdy building and defensive. If some apocalypse happen, I'm going to a police station.
When talking,
because we did the prison, we did the island, we did the boat. Now it's time for the police station. Let's see if this police station shit is all that people say it is, because this was one of the ones that people swear you good to go, right? So we finna find out, man. Should we stay away from it, or should we go there? Because at this point, we got the 10 things, right? We got the 10 things we need for apocalypse. We covered that shit. Now, where's the best place we can sleep comfortably at night? And that's what we're looking for now.
About surviving a zombie. When talking about surviving a zombie apocalypse, who you're surviving with is just as important as where you're surviving. A location you pick can make things easier for you or immensely more difficult. We've talked about many places, but a common suggestion that gets thrown out there is if police stations would be a good place to survive during a zombie apocalypse. And off the top of my head, it sounds like a pretty solid idea. You got guns, security, and radio communications. But what I want to do is find the pros and the cons of surviving in a police station and see if it's a good idea or if it's a big mistake. This is Zombie Survival Labs. Police stations. You either go there to get someone in trouble, snitch, or you end up there because you just got in trouble. It's a fair assumption to say that nobody in reality ever really wants to go to a police station, unless there's some kind of apocalyptic level event like a zombie apocalypse or something realistic like the solar grid shutting down. But what I want to figure out is if a police station would be a viable option to survive in during a zombie apocalypse. And also a big thank you for everyone over at my Discord for helping me out on this. Before we get into the pros and cons, we need to set some ground rules to make sure we are all on the same page. For zombies, I'm referring to the Walking Dead type, so no super mutant wall climbing types of zombies. And for police stations, I'm referring to your standalone police stations, not ones that double as a city jail or a municipal court. Taking police stations like those into account gives too much variation to form an actual answer, and I can make separate videos on courts and jailhouses in a separate video. So now that we got that out of the way, what are the pros to surviving in a police station during a zombie apocalypse? The first pro is that police stations have guns, and a lot of them. Police stations used to not be mentioned a whole lot. That is until The Walking Dead came along, and season 1 started off with Rick taking guns from the police station.
And it's crazy how much TV and stuff influence everything. That's dope. That's just how the world works. As humans, we like to think a lot about our ideas just come straight from our head because of ego. But it's way more stuff that we do, think, say, wear, buy, that we think was like 100% our idea, was subliminally suggested to us in all kinds of various ways. So even if the free thinkers, they might not be as free thinking as they think. Let's get back to it though.
And heading to his family. And now it seems like there's a large number of people that want to go to a police station because of it. Between the armory, firearms and patrol vehicles, and the evidence locker, you have a lot of guns at your disposal. When zombies are trying to eat you and people are trying to take what you have, having a mini arsenal at your disposal will set your group up nicely as it allows you to protect yourself early on. But how much space are you going to have to cover and how much space do you have at your disposal in a police station? In previous videos where I talked about schools, malls, and prisons, I stated that having too much space to cover can hinder your chances at survival. And by the way, links are in the description if you haven't watched those yet. So how much space do you have with your average police station? According to an online poll that I made, a majority of you rather stick to a group size of just a few people. And with a police station being on average 6,000 to 12,000 square feet, a small group of about 8 people can definitely make that work. This space that you have won't be too large that it makes it impossible to defend, but it also won't be too small that it makes long-term survival an improbability. You'll be able to use the offices as makeshift bedrooms, the break room as a dining room, and the armory as an armory. But there's no point in making future floor plans if you can't keep the place secured. Luckily for you, police stations have a minor level of security. Just like in prisons, police stations don't want people wandering around in places that they're not supposed to be in. And this is why certain areas of a police station will have key card readers at the doors. But aside from beefy doors, police stations also only have about 4 entrances that you can use. One for intake, one for civilians, one for workers.
I don't like that key card reader shit. I don't like that key card reader shit because what happens when the power shut down? Do key card doors have keyholes for emergencies or some shit?
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
How does that work? So yeah, a lot of facilities like jails and prisons, and jails and police stations and stuff are key card ran. Now, there gotta be some kind of backup to that, because it wouldn't make sense. If there's no way to open a key card door with the power off, then it's dumb as fuck that any place even have them. So it gotta be a way. DJ said a lot will malfunction. So shit, if the power go off, anybody can just walk in that bitch? Or mean that the power go off, you can't open it at all no more. Both of them pretty bad. If you don't lock when the power go off, it's a security thing. If it locks up when the power go off, then you fucking stuck. Oh, so he's saying anybody can come in and out if the power go off. Yeah, see. DJ said you can pry shit open. we ain't gonna ask how you know this. We're gonna plead the fifth. F-I-F-F. Fifth.
And an emergency exit. This will make it more difficult for others to sneak into the building. And if by chance you was in need of making a quick getaway, like if you're overrun, you still have other options available to get out. There's a lot of side benefits to wanting to settle down at a police station that you collectively can't find somewhere else, like radio communication equipment, an evidence locker that will most likely have confiscated prescriptions, spike strips, emergency medical gear, and police vehicles with bullet-resistant doors. All of these are highly valuable and will be of great use to you during an apocalyptic situation, and having them in one spot is a big advantage. None of these mean anything though if a police station can't provide proper shelter, which it does. I say this pro a lot, mostly because we haven't talked about places that don't provide shelter. But having a place that shelters you from the elements is just as important as food and water is to you. You need a place that you can lay your head down at that'll keep you dry and warm. And not only is that beneficial to your physical health, but also your mental health. And so far, a police station looks like it has some pretty good pros. Some other honorary mentions that you guys left on my Discord are things like helicopters. While a helicopter is good to have, most police stations don't have helicopters or even a helipad. And then you also got to have someone that knows how to operate a helicopter. But I'll make a video on helicopters in of itself in a later video. And then there were some others like military presence, police officers, generators, and so on. But I either wasn't able to justify some of these as pros, they fit into already existing categories like fortification would fit into security, or they were cons more than they were pros. I pretty much think that does it for the pros. So
TJ Wish Doctor says, I'd rather a jailhouse than a station. At least it's more fortified. That's a fact. Not like a big prison, but a jailhouse. You know, a little county, a little transfer spot. You could definitely fortify and secure that without a whole bunch of people. But it had to be like an abandoned prison, because what we gonna do with them inmates?
if you think I missed something, let me know in the comment section down below. We're going to get into the cons in a second, but before we do, I just want to let you guys know that I'm live streaming on Twitch right now, so down below is the link. Now let's talk about some cons. What are the cons for surviving in a police station during a zombie apocalypse? Kind of like how I said in my malls video, police stations are in the most densely populated areas of town, or they're in the center of the city. This poses a lot of threats because a lot of people means a lot of problems, and a lot of problems means a lot of zombies. Because of your average police station's locations in the middle of a city or town, this is also going to make other things more difficult, like fortifying the outside of a police station and going on scavenging runs. If you're met with a couple of dozen zombies every time you walk a couple blocks from the police station, that's going to be making a bigger issue for you. A police station is also a hotspot. Hotspots are places the common public are aware of and might seek out during an apocalyptic situation. So places like hospitals, schools, or stores. People are going to look for the safety and protection from police. And in the beginning, we'll be looking to the police station or military outpost for that exact same reason. But if they aren't going there for protection, then they're going there to scavenge.
Hey, they gonna have to go. My police station, nigga. My police station. Like, when shit like this going on, the spirit of sharing kind of leaves the building, you know? Unless sharing with you is beneficial. Facts, JM. You have to be selfish. All these super bleeding heart liberal people, they either gonna die fast or show their true colors. Cause staying the way they talk now, they ain't gonna make it no time. Everybody has to eat. There should be food for everyone. They won't be saying that shit when the shit hit.
Place for the same reason that you went there, to protect themselves and get what they need. Meaning that dealing with looters is going to be a common issue you're going to be running into. Being a hotspot and at the center of populated areas is already bad enough. But then being able to be found by just the insert name of city, police station, makes it much worse. Pharmacies are going to be a hotspot, but with there being a bunch of pharmacies on a block and having a bunch of different names, it's hard to find exactly which one someone's talking about. But when there's only one in a city, it makes things a little bit more difficult. So for a quick summary, get a place that's going to be commonly sought out in the middle of densely populated areas and having constant run-ins with zombies and looters. That's extremely easy for others to find. I believe that's all the information that we need right now. So now that we have the pros and the cons, just how good is a police station during a zombie apocalypse? If I could rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being a completely horrible idea and 10 being indefinite long-term survival, I would rate a police station a solid 6. A police station is more than just the guns that...
I can make it work with a 6. Just like in a relationship, I can make it work with a 6. That's very, very doable. Just like this scenario right here. Very, very doable.
It has the basic accommodations that a house would provide for you, the added benefit that there's at least some level of security, an evidence locker that's going to have a plethora of things, but most likely is going to have prescription drugs in it, radios, armored police vehicles, emergency medical bags, ballistics vests, riot gear, and a whole lot of things that can aid you in survival, which by itself makes it a pretty good place. But because it's a hotspot, commonly found in the middle of town, and extremely easy to find, long-term survival here is going to be a pretty big struggle for you. But like always, when you're talking about apocalyptic situations, there's better choices out there for you. But what do you guys think? Did I miss any pros or cons? Let me know in the comment section down below. Or you can feel
I can dig it. Plus, you also got the little beat sticks, you know, little sticks they like to beat our ass with, and little blackjacks and billy's poles, and what the fuck you call them. You can crack some zombie heads with that, maybe. But let's say you didn't want to go to the police station. You didn't want to go to Home Depot. You didn't want to go to the prison. You didn't want to go to the island. Let's say you said, fuck this. This America. This America. Ain't no goddamn zombies gonna make me leave my motherfucking house. What if you one of those people? You're like, this America, you know, that's how you feel. This was my granddaddy house, my daddy house, and now this is my house. Ain't no goddamn funky zombie gon', that kind of guy. So what if what if you refuse to leave your house? You want to tough it out right there. Got a video for it called How to Fortify Your Home When the Dead Start Walking.
This expels carbon dioxide.
This for all the people, like I say, who want to set up shop right where they reside. Like, why go here when I got some shit here? But most homes ain't designed for this kind of shit. So let's see what we can do to get our house ready if we choose to stand our ground. You feel me? Let's see what you got to do if you don't want to go to all these other cool locations we talked about before, and you want to stand your ground at your own house for whatever reason, because you just tough like that. Let's see what we got to do to make it.
Stop looking at your backyard. Put the shovel down. If the sirens are already wailing and the news anchors are stuttering through reports of biting attacks, you do not have time to dig a hole. The fantasy of the underground bunker is exactly that, a fantasy that gets people killed in the first 48 hours of an outbreak. A hole in the ground without reinforced concrete, ventilation, and a drainage system is just a grave you dig for yourself. You need a fortress, and you need it before the sun goes down. The reality of a zombie-proof shelter isn't about complex engineering or years of prep. It is about rapidly converting the structure you are standing in right now into a hard target safe room that creates physical and sensory distance between you and the infection. We are talking about physics, not movies. We are talking about friction, density, and line of sight. If you want to survive the initial purge, you need to stop thinking like a builder and start thinking like a siege commander. I'm Tom, and this is the survival curriculum. Today,
well, there we go. So far, I'm invested. So far, I'm invested. Let's see. We gotta fortify.
today we are stripping away the prepper forum nonsense and looking at the raw architectural requirements to survive a biological threat that doesn't feel pain, doesn't get tired, and hunts by sound. We are going to cover the 3 layers of a fast build: the perimeter, the shell, and the core. We will discuss why your windows are your biggest liability, why your front door is a joke, and how to turn a standard apartment or basement into a denial of access zone. If you are serious about having a plan that relies on structural engineering rather than luck, you need to secure your spot in this briefing right now. Like and subscribe to keep this channel in your...
JM says, if you're digging while the shit's hitting the fan, it's already too late. That's a goddamn fact. If you plan to use a bunker and that bunker ain't complete when the shit hit, or you ain't even started, you wasn't planning to use a bunker. You gotta adjust your plan, buddy. Just put the shovel down. Put the goddamn shovel down.
Your feed, because when the grid goes down, the algorithm won't save you, but the knowledge we drop here might. Let's start with where most of you are, the city. Imagine it is 2 p.m. on a Tuesday. The screaming started 10 minutes ago. You are in a 4th floor apartment. Below you, the street is a chaotic river of panicked traffic and pedestrians trampling each other. You see the infection vectors, the shamblers, moving through the crowd. They aren't fast, but they are relentless. They are grabbing ankles, pulling drivers out of stalled cars. You hear glass shattering in the lobby downstairs. The instinct is to run, to grab a bag and hit the fire escape or the stairwell to get to a car. You can hear your neighbour in 4B shouting at his kids to pack up. He opens his door, dragging a suitcase, and heads for the elevator. You hear the ding. The doors slide open. And then you hear the wet, tearing sound of a dozen infected pouring out of that metal box. The hallway fills with the sound of snapping teeth. That neighbor is dead because he tried to move during the peak of the panic curve. In the zombie scenario, movement is exposure. The streets are kill zones. The hallways are funnels.
I did hear before that you want to wait a little bit, you know. That's why it's good to have some supplies. You don't want to go out there when everybody in full panic mode. I guess you let all the weak people. I ain't gonna call them weak. You let many of them fucking excitable people to die off. Let shit slow down a little bit. Now, that's a downside to that. Shit gonna be real chaotic at the beginning, but the longer you wait, whenever you do go out, it's gonna be more zombies probably and less supplies. So it might not be as intense if you wait, but there would definitely be more zombies and less supplies. So it's one of those pick your poison situations.
The mistake everyone makes is assuming they need to get somewhere safe. But in an urban environment, safety is altitude and walls. The people who die first are the ones who try to outrun a threat that is everywhere. They enter the stairwells, which are acoustic amplifiers drawing every infected in the building. They try to drive, getting gridlocked in steel coffins. Your best fast-build shelter isn't a cabin in the woods you can't reach. It is the room you are standing in, provided it has elevation. The zombie threat is a kinetic force. It relies on mass and momentum. Gravity is your primary weapon. By staying high, you force them to fight physics to get to you. If you're in a multi-story building, your goal is to seal the access points below you. This is the castle keep strategy. Zombies are generally motor impaired. They struggle with complex navigation and steep inclines. If you have access to the stairwell door on your landing, that is your first defensive line. You don't just lock it, you disable it. If it's a fire door, jam the mechanism with a pry bar, or fill the...
So is this video only going to help people that stay in apartments? Maybe some of the steps will apply for us people with homes. Maybe we can convert some of his strategies and switch it up to make it for our home. We'll see. But this part right here, I don't need to do.
latch receiver with quick-set epoxy, or even wedged metal scrap. If you are on the second floor or higher, destroy the stairs if they are wooden. If they are concrete, block the landing with the heaviest debris you can find. Vending machines.
Damn, this shit sound like a lot of work. I'm tired just by listening to him. You know, he's the one little dude doing a lot of goddamn work, but you know, it'll save his life. Why he the only person staying in the whole apartment complex, I have no idea. Where the other residents at? Why ain't they fucking helping?
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
But this dude, he dedicated. I give him that much.
Sofas, appliances. You want to create a physical plug. The goal isn't just to stop them, it's to disrupt the flow. A horde pushes forward. If the front ranks trip over a blockade on the stairs, they create a pile-up. That pile-up acts as a soft barrier against the ones behind them. You are using their own bodies to clog the artery. But here is the zombie-specific problem with high-rise sheltering. Acoustics. A stairwell is a giant concrete throat. If you are on the 10th floor and you drop a wrench, that sound travels all the way down to the lobby. Zombies hunt by sound. If you barricade yourself upstairs, but fail to manage your noise discipline, you are ringing a dinner bell. The horde won't just wander by. They will congregate at the base of your tower. And while individual zombies are weak, 1,000 of them pressing against a structure can compromise foundations, or at the very least, create a ladder of bodies. We have seen this in crowd crush simulations. If enough of them pile up at the entry, the ones in the back walk over the ones in the front. Eventually, they reach the second floor windows.
That's what them damn zombies did in World War Z. That movie was wild as hell. So yeah, this seemed really apartment focused. But you know, some of y'all might stay in an apartment. DJ says Concrete Throat sounds like a dope corn star name. That means her shit sturdy, nigga. Concrete Throat. That bitch got a sturdy ass throat. That shit can take a banging and keep on hanging. I wonder what her voice will sound like though. What up? My name Concrete Throat. I don't know if I want to mess with a chick named Concrete Throat. That shit don't sound safe. It do sound kind of painful. Like if a chick name was Sandpaper Coochie. Oh, Sandpaper Coochie.
Your elevation advantage is temporary if you don't maintain silence. The blockade buys you time, but silence buys you survival. You've secured the stairwell, but now you're inside your unit. It's night. The power is out. Outside, the city is burning, but inside, it's terrifyingly quiet. Until it isn't. You hear a dragging sound in the hallway, then a thump against your living room wall. It's not a knock. It's a body hitting the drywall. Then another. Then a low, guttural moan that vibrates through the studs. You realise the drywall between you and the hallway is only half an inch thick. You can hear their fingernails scratching against the paint on the other side. They can smell you.
What kind of projects this nigga live in?
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Thin ass project walls. We just gonna rock with it, man. We just gonna rock with it.
They can hear your breathing. And then the drywall cracks. A fist, grey and rotting, punches through the plaster like it's paper. Then another hand grabs the jagged edge. They aren't using the door. They are tearing through the walls themselves. Most modern interior walls are garbage. They are hollow cavities covered in chalk. People think walls are barriers, but in a zombie scenario, standard drywall is merely a visual screen. It offers zero structural resistance to a determined organism that doesn't feel pain in its hands. If you just lock your door and sit on the couch, you are vulnerable to a breach by attrition. A single zombie might not punch through a wall, but a cluster of them pressing and clawing will crumble standard construction materials. The panic reaction is to push a dresser against the wall. That helps, but dressers have legs. They leave gaps at the bottom and top. If a zombie punches through low, they can grab your ankle. If they punch through high, they can see you. You need density, and you need it fast. To harden a room fast, you use the safe box principle. You need to line the interior perimeter of your designated safe room with dense mass. Books are excellent ballistic and impact armor. If you have bookshelves, line the walls with them. Don't just place them there. Screw them into the studs if you have a drill, or wedge them tight with shims so they can't be tipped over by impact from the outside. If you don't have books, use mattresses, but understand that mattresses are for sound dampening, not impact resistance. The best expedient armor is furniture filled with heavy items. Take a dresser, place it against the threat wall, and fill the drawers with dirt from potted plants, stacks of magazines, or water containers. You are creating a shear wall. Even if they break the drywall, they hit a solid layer of oak and compressed paper.
Got that good sturdy furniture like that in y'all house? Y'all got that good sturdy shit that you can block off some zombies with? I got a couple good pieces, but I don't know if they that good shit like from back in the day.
Reinforce the corners. Structural integrity fails at the connections. Jam items into the corners of the room to brace your wall coverings against each other. Here is why this density matters specifically for zombies. It's not just about them clawing in, it's about crush pressure. In a horde scenario, the zombies in the front are being pushed by the zombies in the back.
Oh, this dude telling us some science right now. This nigga sciencing us up right now.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
And I'm just high enough to where it's making sense. I'm just high enough to where I'm picking up what he's putting down. Now, if I had to watch this video later in the night, see my edible had kicked in, but it ain't in on that point to where I get goofy. And right now, I'm still kind of with him and tracking.
This can exert thousands of pounds of force per square foot. If your wall reinforcement is flimsy, the whole wall section can buckle inward, burying you under your own barricade. Unlike a human attacker who backs off when hurt, the horde acts like a fluid. It flows into weak points. If you leave a gap between your bookshelf and the wall, that gap allows the drywall to flex. Once it flexes, it breaks. Your reinforcements must be flush against the existing wall to transfer that load. You are not building a wall, you are thickening the existing one to withstand the hydraulic pressure of bodies. Now, look at your door, the front door of your apartment or house. It's probably wood, maybe steel clad, set in a pine frame. You hear the thudding get louder. The horde has bypassed the stairwell blockade.
I ain't gonna lie, I have a pretty sturdy front door. We pay like a lot of extra for it. It's like a $3,000 door. I think I'll believe in my door. It's the shit hit. I ain't saying it's like can't be knocked down. I ain't saying zombies can't knock it down. But I think they would have to really lean into it, and it has to be a pack of them just with all their force pinpoint. It's a pretty sturdy door. Back door, trash.
Oh my God.
Back door, trash. You got the back door regular as fuck. And it got a glass panel. So that's problematic in itself. My windows are a little kind of high on the house. They're not like big windows. And they all behind the bushes. So unless the zombies want to trim the bushes, that might actually help us with the window situation.
They are in the corridor. The doorknob starts to turn. Not because they know how to use it, but because bodies are brushing against it. Then the slamming starts. Boom, boom, boom. The door jumps in the frame. You see dust puffing out from the strike plate where the deadbolt goes into the wood. The wood is splitting. A hairline crack appears near the lock. You can hear the wood groaning. It's not the lock that fails, it's the frame. With one final collective heave from the mass outside, the door frame splinters, and the door swings open, not inward, but tearing right out of the wall.
So he's saying you can have an amazingly sturdy door, but if the walls ain't shit, they still getting in there. It's just gonna knock the door. The door gonna be perfectly fine, except for, you know, knocked on the ground. But other than that, it's good. But the walls, I can see that being possible. I still trust my front door for more sturdiness than the regular door.
People trust locks. That is a fatal error. A lock is only as strong as the wood it is screwed into. Most residential door frames are made of soft pine, held in place by 1-inch trim screws. A strong kick from a living human can breach them. A relentless push from 3 dead ones will pop it open like a soda can. Standing behind the door with a baseball bat is a suicide plan. Once the door opens, the funnel effect takes over. You cannot swing a bat in a doorway clogged with reaching arms. You cannot hold the door shut with your shoulder against the weight of 5 people. The moment that latch gives way, your shelter is compromised, and your safe room becomes a trap. You need to mechanically transfer the force from the door to the floor and the structural walls. The fastest way to do this is a floor brace.
Yeah, I'm getting too high for this guy. This guy like MacGyver. I ain't no fucking engineer. It's too much building going on, but I'm gonna keep trying. I'm gonna lock in. Because, you know, we here to learn. Even if it don't, even if it seems some not within your realm of expertise. I'm thinking the same thing. Like, my house brick. My house brick, man. Not no little sheetrock ass apartment. Shout out to my people that stay in apartments. I'm just saying. Hear me out.
Take a sturdy piece of lumber, a 2x4, or even a solid ironing board leg. Wedge one end under the doorknob and the other end against the floor at a 45-degree angle. Kick the base tight, but don't stop there. Friction slips. You need to nail or screw a cleat, a block of wood, or...
I think this is important, people. This part right here is important. So we're gonna run it back. We finna really learn something right here. This is something that you might want to like try to put in your data bank. I feel you should. Trust old Unc, okay? Just trust me. This zombie shit, this little thing he's finna show us is something you'll need. You might want to just absorb it.
Piece of lumber, a 2x4, or even a solid ironing board leg. Wedge one end under the doorknob and the other end against the floor at a 45-degree angle. Kick the base tight, but don't stop there. Friction slips. You need to nail or screw a cleat, a block of wood or a shoe, into the floor behind that brace so it can't slide backward. Next, disable the door's movement entirely. If the door opens inward, screw heavy plywood across the entire frame, overlapping the drywall by at least 6 inches on both sides. Use long screws, 3 inches or more, to bite into the studs, not just the trim. If you have no wood, stack your heaviest furniture in a pyramid shape. Wide base, narrow top. The goal is to make the door part of the wall. Here,
This guy know what he's talking about. He with that high level engineering, building structural shit. Because I was listening to one book, and I came to the conclusion from listening to this book from one of the characters in the book that there's a craft of a blockade building. You were building a blockade, you setting up stuff to keep someone from coming in. You can't just like, oh yeah, this heavy, I'm gonna put it there. You gotta like place it in certain specific ways to maximize your use of it. And it's a learned skill. It could be a gift, but it ain't nothing that everybody knows just because you can move some shit around. Nah, I'm trying to hang with the little kid that used to play with Legos all the time, or Fortnite. You know, he been building shit in Fortnite for the last 10 years, and you know, let's see if that motherfucker can get creative.
here is the zombie twist that standard home defense guides miss. Fluid dynamics. Zombies are leaky. They bleed, they purge fluids, and they decompose. If you have a horde pressing against your door, even if the door holds, you are going to get leakage. Infected blood and bile will seep under the door jamb. If the virus is airborne or contact transmissible, your barricade just became a biohazard vector. You need to seal the gap before you pile the furniture. Duct tape the seams. Stuff towels soaked in bleach, if you have it, into the crack at the bottom. Do not leave a sight line or an airflow gap. Also, remember that zombies don't stop when they break a limb. If they punch a hole in the door, they will keep pushing their arm through until the skin strips off. A hole in the door is a grappling hook for them. Seal it completely. Day 3. The barricade's held. The door is a mountain of furniture. The windows are boarded and blacked out. You are safe from the teeth. But now, you have a headache that won't go away. You feel dizzy. The air in the room is thick, hot, and smells of sweat and unwashed bodies. You are in a sealed box. You lit a few candles for light, and they are flickering low. You are running out of oxygen. Carbon dioxide is building up. You stumble toward the window, desperate to pry off a board.
Hold up, is this nigga suggesting that we bunkered up our house so good that not even oxygen can get in? Is that's what's going on here? Is this guy suggesting that in this scenario, what he just described to us, the apartment, a house, or whatever, was fortified so well that we block oxygen out and keeping carbon monoxide in? You know what? We just gonna let them rock, people. I did learn a couple things, but maybe I can learn some more. You know, knowledge can be attached to anything. So you never know what you're gonna get out of some shit.
Just to get a breath of cool air. You pull the nail out, The board creaks, and instantly, a grey face presses against the glass from the fire escape. It was waiting. It heard you moving. This is the paradox of the zombie shelter. You want to keep everything out, so you seal everything up. But you are a biological engine that consumes oxygen and expels carbon dioxide. If you do your job too well, you kill yourself. In World War II air raid shelters, CO2 poisoning was a real killer. In a zombie apocalypse, opening a window to vent is a death sentence because it breaks your noise and smell discipline. You cannot just crack a window. That small gap is a funnel for sound to escape and for the scent of fresh meat to drift out, drawing the dead right to your location. You need controlled, baffled ventilation. You need air intake low and air exhaust high. Hot air rises. But you cannot have a direct line of sight. If you are boarding up a window, leave a 2-inch gap at the very top. But don't just leave it open. Build a baffle box.
There we go, people. Lock in, focus. We're learning again. We're back to learning.
Over it on the inside. Imagine a box with an opening facing the ceiling, not the room. Line the inside of that box with carpet or foam. This creates a tortuous path for sound. The air can flow in and over.
All right, at this point, he's expecting us to be a little more handy than I am, and I prefer to be. This is a handy, crafty guy. But yeah, we're gonna let him rock out.
Over the baffle, but the sound of your breathing or movement is absorbed by the lining before it can exit the gap. Cover the external gap with heavy-duty mesh or screen, multiple layers. This prevents insects, which can carry infection, and prevents a zombie from sticking fingers through. You are building a muffler for your safe room. Specific to zombies, sound travels through ductwork. If you are in an apartment building, the HVAC vents connect you to every other unit. If a zombie is groaning in Unit 4A, that sound travels through the metal ducts into your room in 4B. Worse, if you scream or drop something, that sound broadcasts to the entire building. You must block the internal vents. Unscrew the register, stuff the duct with pillows or towels as deep as you can reach, and then seal the grill back on with duct tape. This kills the intercom effect. However, this cuts off your central air. That's why the baffled window vent is non-negotiable.
Turn your shit to a hot box. Facts, JM. If you not motherfucking Bob the goddamn builder, you fuck, according to this guy. Oh my God. You gotta be Bob the builder. You gotta be Handy Mandy. Y'all heard of Handy Mandy? Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. You gotta be this motherfucker. MacGyver. Tim the two-man teller.
By severing the building's shared lungs to stop the infection from hearing you, so you must build your own lungs. Let's pivot to the suburban scenario. You have a house. You went to the basement because the walls are concrete. It feels solid. You're sitting in the dark.
Y'all got basements where y'all stay? Let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments. Shout out to the replay gang. But they ain't got basements where I'm from. I'm in Texas. I'm from Louisiana. And I live in Texas. Been here for a while. And I ain't never have a house, rent a house, own a house that had a goddamn basement.
can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
What's that basement life like? That way y'all be living when y'all be grown. When they when they said this nigga 33 staying in the basement. Is this what they talking about? Is this the kind of shit they talking about? Excuse me, how a wife got me a little sick. 33 living in your mama basement, huh? This is what he's suggesting.
Let's pivot to the suburban scenario. You have a house. You went to the basement because the walls are concrete. It feels solid. You're sitting in the dark, listening to the footsteps on the floorboards above you. They are in the kitchen. But they can't get down to you. You reinforced the basement door. You feel smart. Then you hear a crunching sound. Not from the stairs, but from behind you. High up on the wall. The narrow rectangular window, the window well, just shattered. A zombie fell into the well outside, smashed the glass, and is now thrashing on the floor of your shelter. And another one is falling on top of it.
How goddamn convenient a zombie fell in the window well.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
Whatever the fuck that is, because I have no idea what a window well is. Do y'all know what a window well is? What is he talking about? I don't either. But we're going to let him rock out. Maybe we'll learn something again. I learned something twice in this video, and I'm all about the zombie knowledge.
Your bunker just became a funnel for the dead. Basements are great for bullet protection, but they are treacherous for zombie defense. The weak point is always the grade level access. Those small windows at the top of the basement wall are usually single pane glass, often hidden by bushes. People forget them. But zombies stumble. They trip over bushes and fall into window wells. Once one falls in, it thrashes and breaks the glass. Then it crawls in. Or worse, it fills the well, and the next zombie crawls over its back. You cannot leave these unaddressed. If you retreat to the basement without hardening the exterior wells, you are trapping yourself in a glass coffin. Before you lock yourself downstairs, you must secure the exterior. If you have time, cover the window wells with heavy grating or plywood weighted down with pavers. If you are already inside, you have to block them from the interior. Do not just tape cardboard over them. You need to build a shutter. Screw thick plywood directly into the concrete foundation if you have masonry screws. If not, build a brace. Stack heavy storage bins.
Yeah, that guy I expect you to have been heavily into motherfucking Legos. This handyman, Bob the Builder, and motherfucking Minecraft Steve. They want you to be like Steve off Minecraft. La 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 lava chicken. Steve's lava chicken. My daughter had me watch that last weekend.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
Let's talk about that real quick. That Minecraft movie was a bucket of shit. It's one of, listen, they made almost 100 million. No, they almost made $1 billion. They made like 950 something million or some shit, I think. Yeah. Off that Minecraft movie. And that shit, they didn't even try. It's like a fucking 12-year-old boy wrote it. They didn't even care about making things make sense. The stuff that didn't make sense, they just explained it off in voiceovers. And they didn't even try to make the voiceovers sound like they made sense. Even in one scene, they made fun of the fact that we don't need for this movie to make sense. And the scene was this guy was operating some kind of machinery that he shouldn't have known how to do or had time to learn how to operate. And when the guy was asked, "Hey, where did you learn how to do that?" He was like, you wouldn't understand. And then they kept doing it. You're right, because we wouldn't understand, because it wouldn't have made no sense, because y'all would have to fucking say some old bullshit that don't go with the story. But I think it was them being playing with the idea that this movie can function without really explaining a lot of the stuff that's going on. They can just make something exist, and you just the movie is so goofy it forces you just, okay, yeah, pigs can talk, that kind of shit. I mean, they started off early in the movie, pretty much letting you know that they didn't come here to make sense. Anyway, that's enough of Minecraft movie. It was trash. Let's get back to the video again. I thought about Minecraft because that's this guy designing what you need to do. He wanted us to build more and more complex shit. Like I said, like we bought the builder handy manny of motherfucking Steve off Minecraft. Steve was the ultimate builder. He's the builder supreme, if you know anything about the movie. But yeah, let's go. I guess we gotta be Steve in this guy's scenario.
Filled with clothes or books, floor to ceiling, in front of the window. You need to withstand the impact of a falling body. Think of it like a dam. The window well is the reservoir, the zombie is the water. If the glass breaks, your interior barricade must hold back the flood. The final basement killer is invisible, radon gas and mold. Basements are damp and have poor airflow. If you seal yourself in for weeks to hide from zombies, and you are using a bucket for a toilet because the sewage lines are backed up, the biological load in that air becomes toxic. But specifically regarding zombies, the rot factor. If a zombie dies or gets stuck in your window well, it decomposes. That putrid liquid seeps down. If your window seal isn't watertight, you will have liquefied infection dripping into your shelter. You need to have plastic sheeting, vapor barrier, taped over those window barricades. You are defending against solids, liquids, and gases. You can build the walls. You can baffle the vents. You can survive the first week. But understand this: the threat outside is changing. In the beginning, they were scattered, chaotic. But as the noise of the city dies down, the hordes are merging. They are becoming sensitive to smaller and smaller sounds. They are sweeping the streets like a dragnet. Your shelter buys you time, but it does not buy you a future. Eventually, the water...
This guy ain't making me feel hopeful. This video was a buzz killer. It was showing us how inadequate we are at fucking building. Fuck this video. We can do it. We can fucking do it. We ain't gotta do it. Listen. Lean something heavy in front of the door. Just do that. So
almost everybody
a lot of people have a lot of ideas, theories, and concepts about the zombie outbreak, myself included, and I'm pretty sure you do too, right? We be thinking like how it happened. Is it viral? How's it transfer? Is it bite? Is it scratches? Is it biting scratches? Is it body fluids? Do they need to be headshots, or can you shoot them anywhere? Are they gonna run? Are they gonna walk? Do you have to dispose of their dead bodies? Which I think you do. how long light's gonna last, how long water's gonna last, all that stuff. We just got a lot of things we think about. Hopefully this video can help us. It's titled Everything People Get Wrong About Zombie Outbreaks. So since he's telling us everything people get wrong, you would hope that he's telling us everything people get right. All you gotta do is reverse engineer it. If this video is called Everything People Get Wrong About Zombie Apocalypse, if you don't do those things or do the opposite of those things, maybe, does that mean you're doing right? I don't know. I gotta hear what the things is. My elbow done kicked in for sure now, people. Shout out to the Insomniacs at Insomniac Theater. We up. We can't
make this shit up.
It's hard out here. It's hard out here for a pimp, man. Matter of fact, I just been yapping. Ain't been shamelessly self-promoting.
What's up, nieces and nephews? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share.
If you want to support, hit up my Cash App at $UncBe Streaming. Any donation would be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga a break.
So yeah, we're gonna get to this video, man. Give a nigga a break. Get its title Everything, with all caps, people. Everything people get wrong about a zombie apocalypse. Let them cook. Let's let them cook.
Almost everybody has it in their head that they'd be built different in a zombie apocalypse. People think they're going to be calm, tactical geniuses, the stoic survivor, the guy who somehow turns into the Navy SEAL because the world fell apart. They're the type of people who've never thrown a fist in their life, but assume they can fight because they see red when they're mad. But here's the truth. Most people don't die because of zombies. They die because they're soft, scared, loud, overly confident, and wrong about everything that actually matters. So today, we're going through the biggest lies people tell themselves about surviving a zombie outbreak. Not the cute Hollywood myths, the ugly ones. The ones that get people killed before they even leave their driveway. Now let's break down everything people get wrong about zombie outbreaks. The first lie is simple. You think you're built for this. People think they'll rise to the challenge. But reality is, people can't stay calm during a kitchen fire or a minor car accident. When the undead enter the equation, your body reacts the same way it reacts.
No, don't put me in that, nigga. You not built for this. I'm built for this. I'm built for this. Y'all built for this. We getting more built for this as we speak. But no, most people not built for this. The fuck me not. Built for this shit. I was born for this shit. God damn it. Bring it on, motherfucking zombies. I'm ready right now.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum. Oh, shit.
All out of bubble gum. Let's get back to it though. Fucking.
Reacts to any life-threatening event. Your hands shake, your breathing spikes, your vision narrows, and suddenly you're trying to start your car with your house key. Calm people survive, but most people aren't calm. And this is before we even talk about what you're going to encounter out there. Because seeing a zombie from a distance is one thing. Watching someone you know get dragged down or torn apart is completely different. The sound alone breaks people. Trauma shuts the brain down. People freeze, cry, or mentally shut off. Once you break mentally in an apocalypse, you rarely recover. And that's just the mental side. Now your senses start to turn against you. Walking corpses in the summer heat create a smell you can't imagine. Rotting bodies, burned remains, animal corpses, and sewage mixed together in a wall of stink that over...
Yeah, the world of the Walking Dead gotta be stank as fuck. Exactly. You talking about we ain't ready. But right, we watching this. We ahead the curve. We gonna watch this, several other videos, got other shows. We more ready than you think, buddy. We more ready just by you telling us we ain't ready. That fucking thing got us more ready. So thank you, motherfucker.
Overwhelms your senses. People gag, lose focus, and make mistakes because their bodies can't handle nonstop decay. And the smell isn't just coming from the undead. No showers, no clean clothes, and no deodorant slowly turn you into a walking biohazard. You'll smell like sweat, dirt, fear, and stress. Everyone around you is going to smell the same. There is no clean air, only slightly less disgusting air. At the same time, the world is getting more violent, and you keep telling yourself you can handle that part too. Most people can't even gut a fish without gagging. Breaking
Damn, this dude so doom and gloom.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
He taking all the fun out the zombie apocalypse.
Oh my God.
Shit. Everything's like, it's over. It's over for you. You weak. You got pillow fists. You got the strength of a 2-year-old. Might as well put your head between your legs and kiss your ass goodbye. That's pretty much what he's been telling us for the last 2 minutes of this video. Pretty much 2 minutes of the video, he's been telling us how weak and incompetent we are.
Skulls is far more intense. It's messy, loud, exhausting, and mentally damaging. You feel bone, hear cracking, and see what's left behind. The moment you hesitate, the undead can close the gap. And that's while you're still fed and rested. Real hunger makes you dizzy and short-tempered. Extreme fatigue makes you sloppy. Fear drains your mental stamina. When you combine all three, you stop making smart decisions and start making lethal ones. You snap at people, forget simple steps, and miss obvious danger. But somehow people still think that in the middle of all that, they suddenly turn into an action hero. Hitting targets at range is easy. Hitting targets when your hands shake and your ears are full of screaming is what.
What if I already was an action hero? How about that? How you like them apples? What if I already was on my John Wick shit? My equalizer. Sucker. He had like we couldn't already be badasses, people. Maybe we was already Billy Badass. You know what I'm saying? Dunny Dalton ass nigga. You Dunny Doctor. Down us, nigga. Hey Nas. Hey Nas.
Matters. Most people's aim will go to shit when pressure's on them, and melee weapons demand strength and stamina. Swing an axe 5 times with real fear in your system and your arms turn to jelly. And remember, you're not doing this alone in a vacuum. You're doing it with other people who are just as broken as you. People always say, me and the boys would survive anything. In reality, all it takes is one person panicking, arguing, hoarding supplies, refusing orders, or trying to take control. Old grudges come.
Now he just told us and our boys ain't shit. Dude just won't stop. Now he done told us our whole crew weak. I agree, JM. If Rick can do it, we all can do it. Look how long Daryl been out there. That boy talked like he couldn't read. But he showed out there badass in the apocalypse. If Daryl and Rick can do it, you can do it, people.
back, new jealousies show up, and trust falls apart. Groups usually collapse long before zombies reach them. And if the apocalypse doesn't break your friendship, it goes after the people you care about the most, in a different way. All those earlier points get worse when emotions get involved. People claim they put down an infected loved one, but emotion beats logic almost every single time. Plenty of people can't even put down a suffering pet. Putting down a partner, parent, or a child is almost impossible for the average person. Most will freeze, deny reality, or act too late. That delay is all it takes to turn one bite into a full group wipe. So the first pillar is all about overestimating yourself. You think you'll be calm, brave, and ruthless when you need to be, but the odds say you won't. Now flip it. The next problem is the exact opposite. You underestimate everything around you, and nothing is more dangerous than underestimating the world itself. People imagine the undead are the main threat. They're wrong. The world itself starts trying to kill you in ways most people never think about. Once the grid fails, the world goes dark in a way most people have never experienced. Streetlights, store signs, and glowing windows disappear. Your phone lights turn into a beacon that give away your position. Every shadow becomes a potential threat, and every noise becomes a warning. You can't see where to step, what you're stepping on, or what's standing 10 feet away. And that's just at night. The buildings you hide in aren't safe either. Abandoned structures will turn toxic.
This nigga doom and gloom, bruh. I swear, he's all the fun out the apocalypse. He got me nervous about it now. He got me nervous. Shit. Right now.
Can't stop. Won't stop.
Fuck. Yeah, he ain't, I came in feeling confident. That boy crushed my zombie apocalypse self-esteem. He like, oh, you think you can survive an apocalypse? Come in, nigga. He just crushed me down to the size of a peanut. He reached in my chest and put all my zombie confidence, all my zombie survival confidence. He reached in my chest, pulled it out, and he crumbled it up into a little ass ball and slammed it to the goddamn ground. And now I don't believe in myself no more. I don't believe in myself no more, man. I just think I'm gonna go ahead, man. Just hang it up, yo.
Run! Go! Get to the chopper!
That's all I got in me. Let's get to the chopper.
Bursts, sewage backs up, food rots in place, and mold creeps over walls and ceilings. Stagnant water collects in basements and lower floors. People get sick from the air and the surfaces long before zombies ever reach them. And if the structure doesn't get you, the local wildlife is more than happy to help. Animals get bold when humans disappear. Rodents chew through supplies. Stray dogs come from packs and start hunting anything that looks weak. Ticks carry infection. Mosquitoes breed in every puddle of standing water. Nature doesn't care about your apocalypse fantasy. It just sees you as another stressed animal on the edge. On top of that, the entire world is a giant fire hazard that no one is putting out anymore. Fires that used to be minor incidents turn into city killers. A knocked over candle, a cooking mistake, or one idiot with a lighter can wipe out an entire block. And there are no fire trucks coming, no water pressure in the hydrants, and no organized response. Smoke inhalation and carbon monoxide quietly kill people long before the flames reach them. And fire is just one kind of disaster. The rest of the planet will keep throwing other problems at you. Floods, hurricanes, tornadoes, and wildfires won't take a break just because zombies showed up. Without weather alerts, emergency broadcasts, or evacuations, these hit with almost no warning. You get flooded in, crushed, burned, or stranded, and no one's coming to pull you out. Even the buildings that survived might be lying to you. And what I mean by that is weak floors, rotten beams, and unstable roofs in abandoned buildings that are...
This nigga gonna have to say something positive. You know? Can a nigga get some kind of positive reinforcement about this? What's going on, narratives? We trying to learn how to survive this zombie apocalypse, but this dude keep beating us down. This dude keep crushing us, our self-esteem. Everything he talk about is how much we suck at stuff.
Quiet death traps. One wrong step can send you through a floor or collapse a stairwell. A broken leg or a crushed foot is a slow, painful death sentence in a world where you can't rest or get proper medical care. And while you're trying to move carefully, you still need basic things like water, which people also manage to get wrong. Drinking untreated river, lake, or puddle water leads to parasites, infections, and brutal stomach issues that leave you weak, dehydrated, and barely able to move. Diarrhea and vomiting in a zombie apocalypse are not just miserable, they're lethal. Other than the world trying to kill you, now we're on to the next problem. You still think your gear, your meds, and your food will keep working like they did at the start of the outbreak. Some people imagine stores, medicine, food, and tools staying stable and usable forever. Reality does not care about your assumptions. Prescription meds for things like blood pressure, seizures, and mental health run out pretty quick. Pharmacies turn into early war zones. And after all that, there are no refills. Even if you manage to stay healthy for a while, small problems become big ones pretty quick. If you lose your glasses, your survival odds drop overnight. Contacts can also dry out, get contaminated, and lead to eye infections. A cracked tooth or a simple cavity is annoying today. In the
This shit fucked up. I guess getting like a bad toothache or just some serious tooth shit during the zombie apocalypse would be very problematic. I forgot what that procedure called because I never had it, but root canal. Let's say you need a root canal. And it's a zombie apocalypse. There's gonna be a lot of dentists around just to do that shit. You're gonna have to like pull that shit out with some pliers, man. Oh Lord. That shit don't sound good at all. You're right. You got a good point. He acting like we can't make it now, but motherfuckers survived during the medieval days and the dark ages and all that shit. You're right. Hell, we can do it. See, that's what I'm talking about. That's the can do it attitude you need to survive this zombie shit. Fuck, can't don't exist. I can't do it. No, you gotta be like, I'm gonna figure out how to do it. That needs to be your shit. You need to replace I can't do something with I'm gonna figure it out.
Apocalypse, it can kill you. Untreated tooth infections spread to the jaw, then to the bloodstream. Once that happens, you get a fever, pain, and sepsis. Modern dental care stops that chain. The apocalypse doesn't. But to be fair, I've known people with rotten teeth in their mouth for years. So who knows? Maybe you'll be fine. But that's just one example of something people almost never plan for. There's an entire category most apocalypse fantasies pretend doesn't exist. And that's feminine hygiene. You don't hear that brought up often or at all. Pads and tampons run out fast. Improvised solutions made from a dirty cloth or random materials can lead to infections and
I ain't got no poom poom. I'm not worried about that.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
Like JM said, back in the day, the women gonna be all right because in the dark ages, in the medieval days, I doubt they had tampons and maxi pads and shit. In the 13, 14, 1500s, no. Not the tear off an old shirt, plug that joint up, and hope for the best. It ain't the most hygienic. It ain't the most reliable, but shit, you know, it is what it is.
and skin issues. Women in your group are dealing with problems most survival plans never mention. And if you ignore it, you're gambling with their health and your group's stability. And at the same time, your food situation is starting to fall apart. Once the power dies, your fridge and freezer turn into ticking time bombs. Meat, dairy, and leftovers all spoil quickly. The line between edible and what will hospitalize you gets razor thin. Your kitchen goes from a place you store food to a place full of biohazard material. To make things worse, the tools you use to cook and stay warm also paint a target on your back. Fire creates smoke, smell, and light. In a dead world, all of that stands out. A cooking fire or a burn pile might keep you alive in the short term, but it broadcasts your position to desperate survivors and raiders who are listening for any sign of life. And if they don't find you, your next problem is your own vehicle. Gasoline doesn't stay good forever. It starts to go bad within months, especially if stored wrong. Gasoline typically has a shelf life of 3 to 6 months when stored under ideal conditions. However, diesel is good for 6 to 12 months under normal storage conditions. That being said, eventually engines begin to run rough, then fail completely. And without a mechanic in your group or the ability to fix it yourself, you'll have to say goodbye to your vehicle. On the bright side, there shouldn't be a shortage of them, assuming their keys aren't shambling around in somebody's pocket. But yeah, vehicles need maintenance, spare parts, and someone who actually knows how to work on them. Belts snap, tires shred, batteries die, and
no, I ain't gonna front. This is an extremely weak spot in the zombie apocalypse for me. I ain't that car nigga. I ain't that handy car nigga. I'm not that, like I said, I'm not that that black mechanic. I'm Unc, but I ain't that Unc with the at the mechanic shop with the cigarette in his mouth on the tip of his lip. Now let you hear that, boy. See, this what you got to do, that boy. You take that carburetor. Wait. Take that carburetor. You take that carburetor and you hook it up to the malfunctioner. See, you don't know, boy. You don't know what you're doing. See, you gotta take that car. Yeah. See, I'm not that guy. That guy, that shade tree mechanic. You know, he work on cars. He work on ACs. You know, everybody got that uncle, that one guy in the neighborhood that he's known for like fixing anything. He can do everything from drop a transmission to redo your flooring in your kitchen. That boy, mechanic, carpenter, electrician / plumber, ain't certified in none of that shit. But just through years of just doing shit, he's not great at none of it. Let's make it clear. He's not a great mechanic. He's not a great plumber. He's not a great electrician. He's not a great carpenter. But he's decent at all of that shit. That's the nigga you need around in the zombie apocalypse. That jack of all trades motherfucker. He almost as important as keeping the poom poom around. Gotta keep the poom poom around.
and small problems cascade into major failures. Unfortunately, most people don't even know how to change their own oil or swap a tire. And to make
that boy really don't believe in humanity. He talking about most of us don't know how to change oil or swap a tire. Come on. Most fucking adults know how to change a tire. That's what I mean. This dude been really stepping on our self-esteem. He really think lowly of us to add to don't know how to change a tire part. Fuck. JM said, get a horse. Man, I don't know how to ride no horse. And my wife fucking dad got some, a family. People got horses around there. I'm good. I can figure it out though. It's like I said, ain't no such thing as can't. I just said that, right? I'm tripping. I can figure it out. So yeah, get a horse. I can figure it out. I mean, you just straddle the motherfucker. It can't be too hard. Can't be too hard. Motherfuckers been doing that shit for centuries. You gotta be like a fucking nigga riding on Seabiscuit, a jockey or no shit. I just gotta like get that nigga to take me somewhere. I think I can figure that out relatively fast. I won't be the best at it, but I think I'll be enough to not fall off the motherfucker. At least I will hope. Problem with riding horses though in zombie apocalypse is horses get spooked. Horses get spooked. They make sounds. They get spooked and they buck and they might run you off and dump you right in the midst of the zombies. You fall off, you hit your shoulder, you dislocate, hurt some shit. So now you done fell off the horse, you got injured, and the zombie's right there because the horse done freaked out. Or the horse can freak out, you riding on the horse, you going through the area, a snake or something go across the ground. The horse just panicked. No, you off. You hurt. Horse run off. Now you got a fucked up leg. Yada, yada, yada. Horses they don't need certain shit like cars, and they don't need gas and stuff. But you got to feed them. You got to give them water. And they unpredictable because they animals with their own brain and they experience fear and yada, yada, yada. So everything got pros and cons. And that's what I like about life. Life got pros and cons. Like nothing's really 100% in your favor. So you got to pick what shit you willing to fucking deal with. And that's how I think of relationships the same way.
Make matters worse, the stuff that used to keep you alive when you got sick is all starting to disappear. Insulin needs refrigeration, inhalers run out, antibiotics lose potency, painkillers disappear, life-saving medication becomes impossible to replace, and once the existing stock is gone or spoiled, even minor infections can end you. And when medicine is scarce and supplies are shrinking, people stop trading and start fighting. People imagine quietly looting empty stores and houses. In reality, every good spot gets hit early and hard. The more desperate things get, the more every scavenging run looks like an ambush waiting to happen. You're not the only one who needs food and batteries. Other survivors have the same idea, and some of them will kill you for it. And all of that is still the short term. Once the supplies are gone and the easy wins dry up, you hit the part of the apocalypse almost nobody actually thinks through. The long term. Surviving for a week is nothing like surviving for a year. Long term is where most people break. Some people just like to say they'll start a little farm, but seeds don't create food on demand. Crops fail, pests destroy fields, and soil quality matters. You need tools.
Told y'all this nigga doom and gloom. But I guess if he really want to prepare us, he got to tell us worst case scenario and the worst shit. He can't come over here like Mr. Positivity and pumping our heads up like everything's going to go okay. But this nigga don't have no balance. That nigga full doom and gloom.
Knowledge and time. People starve long before the first harvest if they don't already have food stashed away. And farming is hard work with good tools. Without them, it gets even worse. Knives dull, axe handles crack, and saw teeth bend. Sharpening tools takes skill and the right gear. Replacing tools takes manufacturing you no longer have. Every lost hammer, broken shovel, or ruined blade hurts long-term survival more than people think. So people turn to hunting and trapping to fill the gap, and that has its own problems. Improper handling meat leads to parasites and infections. Assuming you could even get your hands on any. Most people can't hunt or trap. Undercooked game gives you worms or food poisoning. Some wild animals have parasites.
That was a challenge, people. He just challenged us. He said most people can't hunt or trap. And if you're one of those people that can't hunt or trap, add that to your list of things to learn this year. Learn how to hunt small animals like rabbits, little shit like that. I was gonna say some other animals, but I don't want to start listing some of these animals because they kind of gross. You might not eat them, but in an apocalypse, trust me, you would. So yeah, narrative say I'm right, and you know what? I was just trying to give the people some hope. Now it's out there. Yes, he is right. Most of us don't know how to hunt or trap. I know how to do both. I know how to hunt, trap, and prepare animals. But most folks don't. But I was just trying to give them a little, but the truth is, I wasn't doing y'all a favor. Well, no, I said he was wrong, but I also said, if you don't know, go do it. So, I was trying to, boost y'all up a little bit. But yeah, he right. Most people don't know. But it still don't change the message. To add that to your list of things to do. Like if you don't know how to fish, and not just fish with the fancy shit, to fish with the bare minimum type shit. The basic pole. I'm talking the Huckleberry Finn type pole. Because you ain't going to have your fancy, smashy $160 fishing pole all the time. You might have a fucking stick with some string on it, with a rock tied to it, with a paper clip that you turned into a hook, with a worm on it, and you fucking fishing.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
You gotta know how to then fish with that. scale, gut, clean off. Same thing with small animals. Be a rabbit. I mean, you might find yourself eating some raccoon. Yeah, man, that Boy Scout shit. That shit we call goofy and lame. Hey, them niggas that was Boy Scouts from 6 years old to 18, them niggas gonna be ready. They like, I got the fire starting badge right here. Watch this. Start a fire. Jay said, fuck that. Find one of the bunkers the elites built and ready and finesse your way in. They ain't gonna let you in, boy. They gonna shoot your black ass on sight. You ain't gonna get close enough to that bunker to knock on the door. You don't come up to some fence there and be like, it'd be like, trespassers will be shot. and you still already 600 yards from the bunker before you even, by the time you see that part, trespassers will be shot. And then you might got to make it through the minefield.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Narrative said he was a Boy Scout. For how long? I ain't never met a black nigga that was a Boy Scout. I ain't never met a nigga. How long was you a Boy Scout for? You must was bad, nigga. Your mama wanted to get rid of you in the summer. And send that nigga to Boy Scouts. No, that's how they get you gone sometimes. When they want some mama and daddy time in the summer. They send you off the Boy Scouts, come back. Your mama talking about, hey, you got a brother or a sister on the way. Mom, where every time I go off the Boy Scouts and I come back, I got another sibling on the way. Mind your business, boy. That boy started Boy Scout at 3 years. Goddamn. So you know what you're doing out there in the wilderness? Or did you forget your skills? You know, they say if you don't use it, you lose it.
And one mistake during butchering or cooking can leave you vomiting, feverish, and too weak to defend yourself. Food poisoning is a hell of a thing. When you're shooting liquid out the back and the front end, things start to look bleak. And while all this is happening, life keeps going on in other ways too. Without prenatal care, sterile environments, or antibiotics, pregnancy and childbirth.
Y'all shooting up the club during the zombie apocalypse? If you knock a chick up during the zombie apocalypse, that means you don't love her. Because you're going to make her fat and slow and unathletic. Just a big old turkey, nice and plump, for the zombies to chow down on. And I understand, because the zombie apocalypse, first of all, I ain't sure what zombie apocalypse poom poom gonna smell like. This guy done said several times how stinky the air gonna be, how dirty and stanky and unsanitary we gonna be. Maybe your nose hairs will be burned out from walking around smelling all the dead corpse. The zombie body's all weak. So the whole city stink because there's corpses everywhere. So by then, some tar poom poom, it's gonna smell like apple pie to you because your nose is already desensitized from the funky smell of death of the corpses. I think I cracked the code. In the zombie apocalypse, you can clap extremely unwashed cheeks because your nose is already burned the fuck out from smelling zombie bodies. Oh my God. Yo, we learning.
becomes life-threatening. Complications that are minor today, like high blood pressure or stalled labor, can kill the mother, the baby, or both. Every pregnancy becomes a huge medical risk for the group. On top of that, the world itself isn't done trying to kill you quietly. Extreme heat and cold both hit harder than people expect. Without climate control, people die from heat stroke in summer and hypothermia in winter. Elderly people, kids, and anyone already weakened by hunger or illness are even more in danger. Depending on the season, shelter without proper temperature control is still not safety. And while human systems are failing, man-made threats are failing in a much worse way. Nuclear power plants are built with layers of safety systems and trained staff, but they still need constant cooling, power, and supervision. Some reactors would shut down safely if the grid went out, but any site that loses cooling long enough, whether at the reactors or in spent fuel pools, risk leaks, partial meltdowns, or releases that never get fully contained. Even a managed accident can contaminate rivers, coastlines, and farmland for decades. Radiation doesn't care about your bug-out location. It rides the wind, water, and food chains, turning unlucky regions into long-term danger zones. At the same time, the natural world is rearranging itself, and you're not at the top of the food chain anymore. As cities...
I'm being framed. I'm being framed.
Oh my God!
No, I was just talking about that zombie apocalypse pussy, not zombie pussy. You know, just talking about, he was talking about, you know, one of the things you don't want to do during the zombie apocalypse is you know, you got to worry about pregnancy and stuff. And I'm like, niggas, it's tearing up zombie apocalypse coochie. You know what that gotta smell like? It's rough out there. The water stopped working weeks ago. You're running around, you fighting for your life all the time. The laundromat's closed. But then I realized, Buck, this is what I realized. You can probably smash some zombie apocalypse level clean coochie because your nose has burned out from smelling all the dead bodies. Your nose hairs burned out, so you can actually hit some unwashed zombie apocalypse coochie from the back, and the back wind come up, and you ain't even gonna smell it. Damn, man, you gave up on it? He said, no, thank you. Listen, it's gonna be a lot of JPs walking around, a lot of J Pence for presidents during the zombie apocalypse. And you know, he said he wants as many kids as possible. And during the zombie apocalypse, he probably gonna make him want a bunch of kids because he's gonna want to repopulate the world with a bunch of J Princes. So he gonna be out there looking for all the women that's fertile. Ain't that how he work?
No.
He gonna be looking for all the women that's fertile and that need some help. You know, because he like them, and like, you know, he like to get them out the homeless shelter. He like to get them out the homeless shelters these days. So, you know, in the zombie apocalypse, he's gonna be looking for all the people that's struggling. And then he's gonna start him a zombie apocalypse hot dog cart. And in one of the outposts that they had built, and sell some of the most crispy apocalyptic glizzies you ever had in your life.
Oh my God! Wow!
No, I fucks with JP. Everybody know I'm a JP supporter. I just be talking shit because he's funny. Because everybody know him. So when I tell the story and connect it to JP, they can kind of envision the scenarios I'm talking about. Like when I said JP got apocalyptic hot dog cart selling some of the Crispies, Glizzies, and in the outpost, I'm pretty sure you can visualize that shit. Jay, he got a little slingo shit. JP's Glizzies make you real dizzy and have you shizzies. I don't fucking know. Come over here and get some of these JP Glizzies out here. Post up the best post-apocalyptic. Don't ask me what kind of meat it's made of, but I swear it's good as fuck. James says selling more rancid meat. Hey, if that shit got enough burnt on it, trust me, motherfuckers gonna be eating it.
gets empty and noise levels drop, predators and large animals start moving into new territory. Wolves, big cats, and large packs of dogs begin treating suburbs and small towns like their new hunting grounds. Food chains warp, and humans become just another source of calories. And while you're trying to dodge predators and radiation, humans keep making the same predictable mistake. They keep going to places that seem safe in theory. The mountains, the woods, hospitals, malls, and military bases. The problem is everyone has the same idea. Those locations become overcrowded, stripped of resources, and full of desperate people. Disease spreads, power struggles start, and one breach turns the whole place into a mass casualty event. Even if you manage to avoid all of that, time still grinds people down. Isolation, paranoia, nightmares, and constant stress slowly erode your sanity. You start arguing over nothing, losing track of days, and replaying memories of the world you lost. Some people shut down, others snap and become a threat to everyone around them. The human brain was not built to live on non-stop survival mode. Zombies are predictable, people aren't. Neither is the environment. Everything people get wrong about zombie apocalypses come from the same mistakes. They think the apocalypse is a movie. They think they get a training arc. They think they'll rise to the challenge when it matters.
I get it, brother. I get it. We shouldn't be too overconfident. But at the same time, man, we got to have a little belief in ourselves just to wake up in that kind of world. You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine like getting up every day, putting 1 feet above the other, and believing in your chances and believing in yourself to the level that this guy suggests? Might as well just jump off something. Appreciate it, but 9mm. Yeah, you might as well jump off something. This is insane. This is nuts. So, but that was the everything people get wrong about zombie outbreaks. So I have a possible surprise for you guys to a degree. It's not a surprise. I don't know why I'm calling it a surprise. It's just, so we're gonna give a shot. Hopefully you two don't, do me dirty when I do it. They be playing sometimes.
Even the doomsday scenarios are just a collation of true life events. Many actual occurrences are part of the chapter of the events. Studying them and prove that every lesson in this book is rooted in this work. That said, knowledge is part of the fight to survive. The rest must come from you. Personal choice, your will to live, must be paramount when the dead begin to rise. Without it, nothing will protect you. In the last page of this book, ask yourself one question.
All right. We about to look at a little video and listen to this audio book. One of my best zombie books I read. This is just the first chapter of it. But the book is called How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse. And said the sound too low. My bad. It wasn't nothing anyway. I was gonna pull it up. I just was playing it just then, just to make sure if the video was something I wanted to do. I had to fix the speed on it. But yeah, we're gonna be checking this out right here. How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse. This is just a part of the book. But this is one of the most detailed, helpful. They could almost call this the Bible of surviving zombie apocalypse. It's written in a way like it's not a book. It's a book written within a book that's planned to be a book type thing. You'll see when you hear it what I'm talking about. But it's being written as a book within a book, like it's not a book. if that makes sense. Probably don't. And Bud 9mm says, have you played zombie VR games? No, I get a certain degree of motion sickness from VR. And I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna do it. One of the reasons I ain't did it, because I was being a little bitch. But if I can't handle it in VR, how am I handling it in the real thing? So I might as well start preparing my mentals. Hey, thank you, Bud Millimeter. I got to scare myself, build up my mental fortitude for those kind of situations. Because, you know, VR off the chain, you had the VR goggles on, you're looking around the room, and you can look all the way 360. And you, in the way it's set up, you can hear a noise. It sounds like it's coming from behind you. And you're like, what's that? You look, it's a fucking zombie right there. And I don't know if I ever used VR, but you often forget that you in that shit. You forget why you in that shit. No, I just take if it's a game where it's the person I'm controlling is more stationary, I'm good. If it's too much walking and looking around, I definitely get motion sickness. If it's something really I want to play, I just take some drama. What is it? Dramamine, the motion sickness stuff I use when I fly. And it lasts for some hours. I just gotta take the non-drowsy kind. You said you got The Walking Dead in VR? I think I watched a video of that one time. Matter of fact, before we get to this, because we'll wrap it up on this video, let's go check it out real quick. Let's check out The Walking Dead VR. Pretty sure it's on here.
The Walking... That's...
Let's get you up to speed.
You're gonna check this out right here on this channel called Awaken Toast. Let me hit the subscribe. Awaken Toast. We're just gonna look at a little bit of his video. So I don't want to watch that particular video though. I guess I ain't got no choice.
Let's get you up to speed. Let's get you up to speed.
Let's go for it. It's called Surviving 365 Days in The Walking Dead VR. I guess this is part one. Definitely not going to watch all of it. It's really long. We're just going to really just see what the game look like and see how the VR play look.
My name's Toast, and I made a challenge to survive 365 days in The Walking Dead VR. Earlier today, I ran through the training grounds on how to become a professional zombie player, learning how the weapons work, how to maintain my stamina, and just overall prepared myself for what I was about to jump into. And then I met a man named Henri, where he told me stories about some of the past experiences here in New Orleans. Heck, dude, I even took a boat out to do some scouting, which unfortunately ended pretty abruptly. Not cool, dude. But anyways, this is the story of how I survived 365 days in The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners.
Seems to me a man can do a lot of things.
It is finally really good physics and mechanics to the... It is finally time. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And may I just say, this is quite possibly the most excited I've ever been to create content for a series. Today, we're going into the world of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners, but not only are we going to go and just play through this game, but we're going to be surviving 365 days within this game. and I cannot explain to you how long I've wanted to do a series like this, just because The Walking Dead is by far one of the most realistic VR experiences I've really ever tried, like up until this point. And I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably wondering, like, how could this be like the most realistic? Like, just looking at it, it's very cartoony. Like, how do you feel like this is realistic? Well, where that really comes in is the fact that they have just a really good physics and mechanics to the actual game itself. And I think that's what truly sets this apart compared to games that try to be realistic. Because this game just owns the whole aspect of it actually feeling realistic when you're in this world, man. So now we need to go and grab on top of the flat surface and vault over. Dude, it has been so long.
But 9mm, is he telling the truth? Does it feel like you're really immersed? Is the controls and movement so natural that it's sometimes it feels, you know, because some of them, the controls and movement it takes you out of the game. I like when you don't have to remind yourself that you're using a controller. I like when, because the less the VR game reminds you it's a VR game, the better they usually are. That's just pretty much how I see it. So if it's like he described, I might have to download this shit. I got my Oculus back there.
So I'm going to be figuring this out once again as we go through this. But another thing I would love to ask you guys is, would y'all like to see in this series me using the voice immersion? Which basically means if I'm speaking, these zombies could actually hear me and turn around, and basically, like, I would blow my cover if I was going around and speaking. But it looks like we got a few photos and a few notes.
A patrol had a scrape with a couple of reclaimed in Old Town yesterday. Cyrus got messed up pretty bad, but the savages paid the price. One of the corpses had this drawing on it. Look familiar? Doesn't bode well.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm fuck with that. See, this kind of video that
It's been so long. So I'm gonna be
this kind of video that I actually watch, and so I don't want to get distracted by it. I'll watch it later.
What will you?
But right now we're finna check out part 1 of How to Survive a Zombie Apocalypse. Like I said, this is pretty much the Bible of surviving a zombie apocalypse. I read this book; it was outstanding. I bought it and used to own it. Lost it in a fire. It was so good. I need to keep it around because it's written like a book. It's written like a what's that shit called when you trying to get directions? It's written like it's like a guy in a fictional world is writing a instruction guide to survive the zombie apocalypse. That's kind of, I think, how it's written. He's the guy in the book is writing a book for people like us to read. You'll see.
The dead walk among us. Zombies, ghouls, no matter what their label, these somnambulists are the greatest threat to humanity, other than humanity itself. To call them predators and us prey would be inaccurate. They are a plague, and the human race their host. The lucky victims are devoured, their bones scraped clean, their flesh consumed. Those not so fortunate join the ranks of their attackers, transformed into putrid, carnivorous monsters. Conventional warfare is useless against these creatures, as is conventional thought. The science of ending life, developed and perfected since the beginning of our existence, cannot protect us from an enemy that has no life to end. Does this mean the living dead are invincible? No. Can these creatures be stopped? Yes. Ignorance is the undead's strongest ally. Knowledge, their deadliest enemy. That is why this book was written, to provide the knowledge necessary for survival against these subhuman beasts. Survival is the key word to remember. Not victory, not conquest, just survival. This book will not teach you to become a professional zombie hunter. Anyone wishing to devote their life to such a profession must seek training elsewhere. This book was not written for the police, military, or any government agency. These organizations, if they choose to be recognized and prepare for the threat, will have access to resources far beyond those of private citizens. It is for them that this survival guide was written. Private citizens, people with limited time and resources who nonetheless have refused to be victimized. Naturally, many other skills, wilderness survival, leadership, even basic first aid, will be necessary in any encounter with the living dead. These were not included in this work, as they can be found in conventional texts. Common sense will dictate what else should be studied to complement this manual. Subsequently, all subjects not directly related to the living dead have been omitted. From this book, you will learn to recognize your enemy, to choose the right weapons, about killing techniques, and improvisation when on the defense, on the run, or on the attack. It will also discuss the possibility of a doomsday scenario in which the living dead have replaced humanity as the planet's dominant species. Do not discount any section of this book as hypothetical drama. Every ounce of knowledge was accumulated by hard-won research and experience. Historical data, laboratory experiments, field research, and eyewitness accounts, including those of the author, have all served to create this work. Even the doomsday scenario is an extrapolation of true life events.
See how he said eyewitness accounts? Like I say, it's like it's meta. It's meta as fuck. That's all I can explain it. If you read a lot, you'll get what I'm talking about. But if you don't read that much, but you still might understand. It's some almost fourth wall breaking shit.
Many actual occurrences are chronicled in the chapter of recorded outbreaks. Studying them will prove that every lesson in this book is rooted in historical fact. That said, knowledge is part of the fight for survival. The rest must come from you. Personal choice, the will to live, must be paramount when the dead begin to rise. Without it, nothing will protect you. On the last page of this book, ask yourself one question. What will you do? End your existence in passive acceptance? Or stand up and shout, I will not be their victim. I will survive. The choice is yours. The undead. Myths and realities. What is a zombie? How are they created? What are their strengths and weaknesses? What are their needs, their desires? Why are they hostile to humanity? Before discussing any survival techniques, you must first learn what you are trying to survive. We must begin by separating fact from fiction. The Walking Dead are neither a work of black magic nor any other supernatural force. Their origin stems from a virus known as solanum, a Latin word used by Jan van der Haven, who first discovered the disease. Solanum, the virus. Solanum works.
Well, see, yeah, they created this fictional world where zombie apocalypse actually happened, but they're using the events in this fictional world to tell us how to survive a zombie apocalypse if it happened in real life. And to answer this question, JM, I have all three versions. Well, I have three versions. I got the first one, the second. I think unless one came out this year, a fourth one. But I got the earliest one, the one after that, then the one after that. I got the 1, 2, and the 3, I guess. I don't know which one they own now. The one that first my son had one. Then we got my other son, the newer one. And the first one my son gave me the old one. And my daughter then got the newest one that I got a couple years ago. And mine's some of the newer games coming out, like honestly, I don't think mine can play. Like it probably couldn't play this game. The store on it still open to buy stuff, but I don't know if it can play this game. My daughter definitely should be able to play it. She got the newest one that we got. Cause you know how as they upgrade stuff or the game, I think it's an option where you can lower the graphics and play the game for your device. So you can technically probably still play it, but it wouldn't look as good as it'll look on the new one.
By traveling through the bloodstream, from the initial point of entry to the brain. Through means not fully yet understood, the virus uses this. What are their strengths and weaknesses? What are their needs, their desires? Why are they hostile to humanity? Before discussing any survival techniques, you must first learn what you are trying to survive. We must begin by separating fact from fiction. The Walking Dead are neither a work of black magic nor any other supernatural force. Their origin stems from a virus known as solanum, a Latin word used by Jan Vanderhaven, who first discovered the disease. Solanum, the virus. Solanum works by traveling through the bloodstream, from the initial point of entry to the brain. Through means not fully yet understood, the virus uses the cells of the frontal lobe for replication, destroying them in the process. During this period, all bodily functions cease. By stopping the heart, the infected subject is rendered dead. The brain, however, remains alive but dormant, while the virus mutates its cells into a completely new organ. The most critical trait of this new organ is its independence from oxygen. By removing the need for this all-important resource, the undead brain can utilize, but is in no way dependent on, the complex support mechanism of the human body. Once mutation is complete, this new organ reanimates the body into a form that bears little resemblance, physiologically speaking, to the original corpse. Some bodily functions remain constant, others operate in a modified capacity, and the remainder shut down completely. The new organism is a zombie, a member of the living dead. Number 1. Source. Unfortunately, extensive research has yet to find an isolated example of solanum in nature. Water, air, and soil in all ecosystems from all parts of the world have turned up negative, as have their accompanying flora and fauna. At the time of this writing, the search continues. Number 2. Symptoms. The timetable below outlines the process of an infected human, give or take several hours, depending on the individual. Hour 1. Pain and discoloration, brown to purple, of the infected area, immediate clotting of the wound, provided the infection came from a wound. Hour 5. Fever, 99 to 103 degrees Fahrenheit. Chills, slight dementia, vomiting, acute pain in the joints. Hour 8. Numbing of extremities and infected area, increased fever, 103 to 106 degrees Fahrenheit. Increased dementia, loss of muscular coordination. Hour 11. Paralysis in the lower body, overall numbness, slowed heart rate. Hour 16. Coma. Hour 20. Heart stoppage, zero brain activity. Hour 23. Reanimation. Number 3. Transference. Solanum is 100% communicable and 100% fatal. Fortunately for the human race, the virus is neither waterborne nor airborne. Humans have never been known to contract the virus from elements in nature. Infection can only occur through direct fluidic contact. A zombie bite, although by far the most recognizable means of transference, is by no means the only one. Humans have been infected by brushing their open wounds against those of a zombie or by being splattered by its remains after an explosion. Ingestion of infected flesh, provided the person has no open mouth sores, however, result in permanent death rather than infection. Infected flesh has proven to be highly toxic. No information, historical, experimental, or otherwise, has surfaced regarding the results of sexual relations with an undead specimen. But as previously noted, the nature of solanum suggests a high danger of infection. Warning.
Damn, man. They concerned about zombie lovers. They concerned about zombie fuckers. Goddamn zombie hunching motherfuckers. I don't know, man. If I was to run across a zombified Megan Good, I might be slightly tempted to give that thing a test drive. Just joking, just joking, just joking. That's hella gross. But there are some guys out there that would grab, either do it raw, but she a zombie, she can't get pregnant, or put a condom on and she a zombie, the condom gonna stop me from catching that zombie cooties. And just what it's people do it to dead bodies. It's people out there, the necrophiliacs that do it to dead bodies. So I can imagine it's some people that'll do it to the walking dead bodies, you know? That's wild. But right now, the book is just setting up the world that the book takes place in. So we'll get our zombie survival information.
ingestion of infected flesh, provided the person has no open mouth sores, however, result in permanent death rather than infection. Infected flesh has proven to be highly toxic. No information, historical, experimental, or otherwise, has surfaced regarding the results of sexual relations with an undead specimen. But as previously noted, the nature of solanum suggests a high danger of infection. Warning against such an act would be useless, as the only people deranged enough to try would be unconcerned for their own safety. Many have argued that, given the congealed nature of the undead bodily fluids, the chance of infection from a non-bite contact should be low. However, it must be remembered that even one organism is enough to begin the cycle. Number 4, cross-species infection. Solanum is fatal to all living creatures, regardless of size, species, or ecosystem. Reanimation, however, takes place only in humans. Studies have shown that solanum infecting a non-human brain will die within hours of its host, making the carcass safe to handle. Infected animals expire before the virus can replicate through their bodies. Infection from insect bites such as mosquitoes can also be discounted. Experiments have proven that all parasitic insects can sense and will reject an infected host 100% of the time. Number 5, treatment. Once a human is infected, little can be done to save him or her. Because solanum is a virus and not a bacteria, antibiotics have no effect. Immunization, the only way to combat a virus, is equally useless, as even the most minute dosage will lead to a full-blown infection. Genetic research is underway. Goals range from stronger human antibodies to resistant cell structure to a counter-virus designed to identify and destroy solanum. This and other, more radical treatments are still in the earliest stages, with no foreseeable success in the future. Battlefield experiences have led to the immediate severing of the infected limb, provided this is the location of the bite. But such treatments are dubious at best, with less than a 10% success rate. Chances are, the infected human was doomed from the moment the virus entered his or her system. Should the infected human choose suicide, he should remember that the brain must be eliminated first. Cases have been recorded in which recently infected subjects, deceased by means other than the virus, will nonetheless reanimate. Such cases usually occur when the subject expires after the 5th hour of infection. Regardless, any person killed after being bitten or otherwise infected by the undead should be immediately disposed of. See Disposal, page 19. Number 6, reanimating the already deceased. It has been suggested that fresh human corpses could reanimate if solanum were introduced after their demise. This is a fallacy. Zombies ignore necrotic flesh and therefore could not transfer the virus. Experiments conducted during and after World War II have proven that injecting solanum into a cadaver would be futile because a stagnant bloodstream cannot transport the virus to the brain. Injection directly into a dead brain would be equally useless, as the expired cells could not respond to the virus. Solanum does not create life. It alters it. Zombie attributes. Number 1, physical abilities. Too often, the undead have said to possess superhuman powers, unusual strength, lightning speed, telepathy, etc. Stories range from zombies flying through the air to their scaling vertical surfaces like spiders. While these traits might make for fascinating drama, the individual ghoul is far from a magical, omnipotent demon. Never forget that the body of the undead is, for all practical purposes, human. What changes do occur are in the way of this new, reanimated body is used by the now infected brain. There's no way a zombie could fly unless the human it used to be could fly. The same goes for projecting force fields, teleportation, moving through solid objects, transforming into a wolf, breathing fire, or a variety of other mythical talents attributed to the walking dead. Imagine the human body as a toolkit. The somnambulist brain has those tools, and only those tools, at its disposal. It cannot create new ones out of thin air, but it can, as you will see, use these tools in unconventional combinations to push their durability beyond normal human limits. A. Sight. The eyes of a zombie are no different than those of a normal human. While still capable, given their rate of decomposition, of transmitting visual signals to the brain, how the brain interprets these signals is another matter. Studies are inconclusive regarding the undead's visual abilities. They can spot prey at a distance comparable to a human, but whether they can distinguish a human from one of their own is still up for debate. One theory suggests that the movements made by humans, which are quicker and smoother than those.
Don't their eyes eventually maybe rotten away? Like, I understand when they fresh, they might still have normal good eyesight. But don't you think as they rotten, their eyes and their hearing, their sight and their hearing would deteriorate with the deterioration of the body. I mean, that just makes sense to me. So it just depends on how the zombie world is set up. And like I said, all this right now, him setting up this fictional world within this survival guide. But we're going to keep letting them cook because we need to know what we're dealing with.
Of the undead is what caused them to stand out to the zombie eye. Experiments have been done in which humans have attempted to confuse approaching ghouls by mimicking their motions and adopting a shambling, awkward limp. To date, none of these attempts have succeeded. It has been suggested that zombies possess night vision, a fact that explains their skill at nocturnal hunting. This theory has been debunked by the fact that all zombies are expert night feeders, even those without eyes. B. Sound. There is no question that zombies have excellent hearing. Not only can they detect sound, they can determine its direction. The basic range appears to be the same as that for humans. Experiments with extreme high and low frequencies have yielded negative results. Tests have also shown that zombies are attracted by any sounds, not just those made by living creatures. It has been recorded that ghouls will notice sounds ignored by living humans. The most likely, if unproven, explanation is that zombies depend on all of their senses equally. Humans are sight-oriented from birth, depending on their other senses only if the primary one is lost. Perhaps this is not a handicap shared by the Walking Dead. If so, it would explain their ability to hunt, fight, and feed in total darkness. C. Smell. Unlike with sound, the undead have a more acute sense of smell. In both combat situations and laboratory tests, they have been able to distinguish the smell of living prey above all others. In many cases, and given ideal wind conditions, zombies have been known to smell fresh corpses from a distance of more than a mile. Again, this does not mean that ghouls have a greater sense of smell than humans, simply that they rely on it more. It is not known exactly what particular secretion signals the presence of prey: sweat, pheromones, blood, etc. In the past, people seeking to move undetected through infested areas have attempted to mask their human scent with perfumes, deodorants, or other strong-smelling chemicals. None were successful. Experiments are now underway to synthesize the smells of living creatures as a decoy or even repellent to the Walking Dead. A successful product is still years away. B. Taste. Little is known about the altered taste buds of the Walking Dead. Zombies do not have the ability to tell human flesh apart from that of animals, and they prefer the former. Ghouls also have remarkable ability to reject carrion in favor of freshly killed meat. A human body that has been dead longer than 12 to 18 hours will be rejected as food. The same goes for cadavers that have been embalmed or otherwise.
It ain't that helpful that they won't eat us if we've been dead for 12 to 18 hours because we're dead to 12 to 18 hours. But maybe it can go back to my stinky technique where I can be so stinky that it'll smell like I was dead for 12 to 8 hours and they won't fuck with me. See. When I said I don't need no hygiene stuff or clean clothes, now it's paying off. Nastiness wins again.
Preserved. Whether this has anything to do with taste is not yet certain. It may have to do with smell, or perhaps another instinct that has not been discovered. As to exactly why human flesh is preferable, science has yet to find an answer to this confounding, frustrating, terrifying question. E. Touch. Zombies have, literally, no physical sensations. All the nerve receptors throughout the body remain dead after reanimation. This is truly their greatest and most terrifying advantage over the living. We, as humans,
where that goes to making good zombie poom poom, she not gonna even feel your shit.
We can't make this shit up. We can't make this shit up.
Sorry, freaks and geeks. But guess what? That won't even stop some of these dudes. Because like I said, it's people out there that will do it with a corpse. So again, the Walking Dead, they're still wiggling. And even though they can't feel it, they won't care because the corpse couldn't feel it either. Yo, you get caught doing that shit, man, you need to get all the time in jail in life. Your ass just need to get life in prison. And a family member of the the deceased that you was fucking messing with need about 10 minutes in a room with your ass to beat the brakes off you. What if it was their old greasy granny, they grandma, Nana? They caught you fucking hunching on Nana corpse.
Oh my God.
Lock them up. Throw away the key.
Whether this has anything to do with taste is not yet certain. It may have to do with smell, or perhaps another instinct that has not been discovered. As to exactly why human flesh is preferable, science has yet to find an answer to this confounding, frustrating, terrifying question. E. Touch. Zombies have, literally, no physical sensations. All the nerve receptors throughout the body remain dead after reanimation. This is truly their greatest and most terrifying advantage over the living. We, as humans, have the ability to experience physical pain as a signal of bodily damage. Our brain classifies such sensations, matches them to the experience that instigated them, and then files the information away for use as a warning against future harm. It is this gift of physiology and instinct that has allowed us to survive as a species. It is why we value virtues such as courage, which inspires people to perform actions despite warnings of danger. The inability to recognize and avoid pain is what makes the Walking Dead so formidable. Wounds will not be noticed, and, therefore, will not deter an attack. Even if a zombie's body is severely damaged, it will continue to attack until nothing remains. F. Sixth sense. Historical research, coupled with laboratory and field observation, have shown that the Walking Dead have been known to attack even when all sensory organs have been damaged or completely decomposed. Does this mean that zombies possess a sixth sense? Perhaps. Living humans use less than 5% of their brain capacity. It is possible that the virus can stimulate another sensory ability that has been forgotten by evolution. This theory is one of the most hotly debated in the war against the undead. So far, no scientific evidence has been found to support either side. G. Healing. Despite legends and ancient folklore, undead physiology has been proven to possess no powers of regeneration. Cells that are damaged stay damaged. Any wounds, no matter what their size and nature, will remain for the duration of that body's reanimation. A variety of medical treatments have been attempted to stimulate the healing process in captured ghouls. None were successful. This inability to self-repair, something that we as living beings take for granted, is a severe disadvantage to the undead. For example, every time we physically exert ourselves, we tear our muscles. With time, these muscles rebuild to a stronger state than before. A ghoul's muscle mass will remain damaged, reducing its effectiveness every time it is used. H. Decomposition. The average lifespan, how long it is able to function before completely rotting away, is estimated at 3 to 5 years. As fantastic as that sounds, a human corpse able to ward off the natural effects of decay, its cause is rooted in its biology. When a human body dies, its flesh is immediately set upon by billions of microscopic organisms. These organisms were always present in the external environment and within the body itself. In life, the immune system stood as a barrier between these organisms and their target. In death, that barrier is removed. The organisms begin multiplying exponentially as they proceed to eat, thereby break down the corpse on a cellular level. The smell and discoloration associated with any decaying meat are the biological process of these microbes at work. When you order an aged steak, you are ordering a piece of meat that has begun to rot, its formerly toughened flesh softened by microorganisms breaking down its sturdy fiber. Within a short time, that steak, like a human corpse, will dissolve to nothing, leaving behind only material too hard or innutritious for any microbe, such as bone, teeth, nails, and hair. This is the normal cycle of life, nature's way of recycling nutrients back into the food chain. To halt this process and preserve dead tissue, it is necessary to place it in an environment unsuitable for bacteria, such as in extreme low or high temperatures, in toxic chemicals such as formaldehyde, or in this case, to saturate it with selenum. Almost all the microbe species involved in normal human decomposition have repeatedly rejected flesh infected by the virus, effectively embalming the zombie. Were this not the case, combating the evil dead would be as easy as avoiding them for several weeks, even days, until they rotted away to bones. Research has yet to discover the exact cause of this condition. It has been determined that at least some microbe species ignore the repelling effects of selenum. Otherwise, the undead would remain perfectly preserved forever. It also has been determined that natural conditions such as moisture and temperature play an important role as well. The undead that prowl the bayous of Louisiana are unlikely to last as long as those in the cold, dry Gobi Desert. Extreme situations, such as deep freezing or immersion in preservative fluid, could, hypothetically, allow an undead specimen to exist indefinitely. These techniques have been known to allow zombies to function for decades, if not centuries. Decomposition does not mean that a member of the Walking Dead will simply drop. Decay may affect various parts of the body at different times. Specimens have been found with brains intact but nearly disintegrated bodies. Others with partially rotted brains may control some bodily functions but be completely paralyzed in others. A popular theory has recently circulated that attempts to explain the story of the ancient Egyptian mummy as one of the first examples of an embalmed zombie. The preservation techniques allowed it to function for several thousand years after being entombed. Anyone with rudimentary knowledge of ancient Egypt would find this story almost laughably untrue. The most important and complicated step in preparing a pharaoh for burial was the removal of the brain. Digestion. Recent evidence has once and for all discounted the theory that human flesh is the fuel for the undead. A zombie's digestive tract is completely dormant. The complex system that processes food, extracts nutrients, and excretes waste does not factor into a zombie's physiology. Autopsies conducted on neutralized undead have shown that their food lies in its original, undigested state at all sections of the tract. This partially chewed, slowly rotting matter will continue to accumulate as the zombie devours more victims until it is forced through the anus or literally bursts through the stomach or intestinal lining. While this more dramatic example of non-digestion is rare, hundreds of eyewitness reports have confirmed undead that have distended bellies. One captured and dissected specimen was found to contain 211 pounds of flesh within its system. Even rarer accounts have confirmed that zombies continue to feed long after their digestive tracts have exploded from within. Respiration. The lungs of the undead continue to function in that they draw air into and expel it from the body. This function accounts for a zombie's signature moan. What the lungs and body chemistry fail to accomplish, however, is to extract oxygen and remove carbon dioxide. Given that selenium obviates the need for both of these functions, the entire human respiratory system is obsolete in the body of a ghoul. This explains how the living dead can walk underwater or survive in environments lethal to humans. Their brains, as noted earlier, are oxygen independent. Circulation. It would be inaccurate to say that zombies have no heart. It would not be inaccurate, however, to say that they find no use for it. The circulatory system of the undead is little more than a network of useless tubes filled with congealed blood. The same applies to the lymphatic system, as well as other bodily fluids. Although this mutation would appear to give the undead one more advantage over humanity, it has actually proved to be a godsend. The lack of fluid mass prevents easy transmission of the virus. Were this not true, hand-to-hand combat would be nearly impossible, as the defending human would almost certainly be splattered with blood and/or other fluids. Reproduction. Zombies are sterile creatures. Their sexual organs are necrotic and impotent. Attempts have been made to fertilize zombie eggs with human sperm and vice versa. None has been successful. The undead have also shown no signs of sexual desire, either for their own species or for the living. Until research can prove otherwise, humanity's greatest fear, the dead reproducing the dead, is a comforting impossibility. Strength. Ghouls possess the same brute force as the living. What power can be exerted depends greatly on the individual zombie. What muscle mass a person has in life would be all he possesses in death. Unlike a living body, adrenal glands have not been known to function in the dead, denying zombies the temporary burst of power we humans enjoy. The one solid advantage the living dead do possess is amazing stamina. Imagine working out, or any other act of physical exertion. Chances are that pain and exhaustion will dictate your limits. These factors do not apply to the dead. They will continue and act with the same dynamic energy until the muscles supporting it literally disintegrate. While this makes for progressively weaker ghouls, it allows for an all-powerful first attack. Many barricades that would have exhausted 3 or even 4 physically fit humans have fallen to a single determined zombie. Speed. The walking dead tend to move at a slouch or limp. Even without injuries or advanced decomposition, their lack of coordination make for an unsteady stride. Speed is mainly determined by leg length. Taller ghouls have longer strides than their shorter counterparts. Zombies appear to be incapable of running. The fastest have been observed to move at the rate of barely 1 step per 1.5 seconds. Again, as with strength, the dead's advantage over the living is their tirelessness. Humans who believe they have outrun their undead pursuers might do well to remember the story of the tortoise and the hare, adding, of course, that in this instance the hare stands a good chance of being eaten alive. Agility. The average living human possesses a dexterity level 90% greater than the strongest ghoul. Some of this comes from the general stiffness of necrotic muscle tissue, hence their awkward stride. The rest is due to their primitive brain functions. Zombies have little hand-eye coordination, one of their greatest weaknesses. No one has ever observed a zombie jumping, either from one spot to another or simply up and down. Balancing on a narrow surface is similarly beyond their ability. Swimming is also a skill reserved for the living. The theory has been put forth that, if an undead corpse were to be bloated enough to rise to the surface, it could present a floating hazard. This is rare, however, as the slow rate of decomposition will not allow byproduct gas to accumulate. Zombies who walk or fall into bodies of water will more likely find themselves wandering aimlessly across the bottom, until eventually dissolving. They can be successful climbers, but only in certain circumstances. If zombies perceive prey above them, for example, in the second story of a house, they will always attempt to climb it. Zombies will try to scale any surface no matter how unfeasible or even impossible. In all but the easiest situations, these attempts have met with failure. Even in the case of ladders, when simple hand-over-hand coordination is required, only 1 in 4 zombies will succeed. Behavioral patterns. Intelligence. It has been proven, time and time again, that our greatest advantage over the undead is our ability to think. The mental capacity of the average zombie ranks somewhere beneath that of an insect. On no occasion have they shown any ability to reason or employ logic. Attempting to accomplish a task, failing, and then by trial and error discovering a new solution is a skill shared by many members of the animal kingdom, but lost on The Walking Dead. Zombies have repeatedly failed laboratory intelligence tests set at the level of rodents. One field case showed a human standing at one end of a collapsed bridge with several dozen zombies on the other side. One by one, The Walking Dead tumbled over the edge in a futile attempt to reach him. At no time did any of them realize what was happening and change their tactics in any way. Contrary to myth and speculation, zombies have never been observed using tools of any kind. Even picking up a rock to use as a weapon is beyond their grasp. This simple task would prove the basic thought process involved in realizing that the rock is a more efficient weapon than the naked hand. Ironically, the age of artificial intelligence has enabled us to identify more easily with the mind of the zombie than our more primitive ancestors. With care exceptions, even the most advanced computers do not have the ability to think on their own. They do what they are programmed to do, nothing more. Imagine a computer programmed to execute one function. This function cannot be paused, modified, or erased. No new data can be stored. No new commands can be installed. This computer will perform that one function over and over until its power source eventually shuts down. This is the zombie brain, an instinct-driven, unitask machine that is impervious to tampering and can only be destroyed. Emotions. Feelings of any kind are not known to The Walking Dead. Every form of psychological warfare, from attempts to enraging the undead to provoking pity, have all met with disaster. Joy, sadness, confidence, anxiety, love, hatred, fear, all of these feelings and thousands more that make up the human heart are as useless to the living dead as the organ of the same name. Who knows if this is humanity's greatest weakness or strength? The debate continues, and probably will forever. Memories. A modem conceit is that the zombie retains the knowledge of its former life. We hear stories of the dead returning to their places of residence or work, operating familiar machinery, or even showing acts of mercy to loved ones. In truth, not a shred of proof exists to support this wishful thinking. Zombies could not possibly retain memories of their former lives in either the conscious or subconscious mind, because neither exists. A ghoul will not be distracted by the family pet, living relatives, familiar surroundings, etc. No matter who a person was in his former life, that person is gone, replaced by a mindless automation with no instinct other than for feeding. This begs the question, why do zombies prefer urban areas to the countryside? First, the undead do not prefer cities, but simply remain where they are reanimated. Second, The main reason zombies tend to stay in cities instead of fanning out into the countryside is because the urban zone holds the highest concentration of prey. Physical needs. Other than hunger, discussed later, the dead have shown none of the physical wants or needs expressed in mortal life. Zombies have never been observed to sleep or rest under any circumstances. They have not reacted to extreme heat or cold. In harsh weather, they have never sought shelter. Even something as simple as thirst is unknown to the living dead. Defying all laws of science, Solanum has created what could be described as a completely self-sufficient organism. Communication. Zombies have no language skills. Although their vocal cords are capable of speech, their brain is not. The only vocal ability appears to be a deep-throated moan. This moan is released when zombies identify prey. The sound will remain low and steady until physical contact is made. It will then shift in tone and volume as the zombie commences its attack. This eerie sound, so typically associated with The Walking Dead, serves as a rally cry for other zombies and, as has been recently discovered, is a potent psychological weapon. See On the Defense, page 74. Social dynamics. Theories have always been proliferated that the undead function is a collective force, from an army controlled by Satan to an insect-like pheromonic-driven hive, to the most recent notion that they achieve group consensus by telepathy. The truth is that zombies have no social organization to speak of. There is no hierarchy, no chain of command, no drive towards any type of collectivization. A horde of the undead, regardless of size, regardless of appearance, is simply a mass of individuals. If several hundred ghouls converge on a victim's location, it is because each one is drawn by its own instinct. Zombies appear to be unaware of one another. Individuals have never been observed to react to the sight of one another at any range. This goes back to the question of sense. How does a zombie distinguish between one of its own and a human or other prey at the same range? The answer has yet to be found. Zombies do avoid one another in the same way they avoid inanimate objects. When they bump into one another, they make no attempt to connect or communicate. Zombies feasting on the same corpse will tug repeatedly on the meat in question rather than shove a competitor out of the way. The only suggestion of communal effort is seen in notorious swarm attacks, the moan of a ghoul calling others within earshot. Once they hear the wail, the other Walking Dead will always converge on its source. An early study theorized that this was a deliberate act, that a scout used its moan to signal the others to attack. However, we know now that it happens purely by accident. The ghoul that moans at the detection of prey does so as an instinctive reaction, not as an alert. Hunting. Zombies are migratory organisms. No regard for territory or concept of home. They will travel miles and perhaps, given time, cross continents in their search for food. Their hunting pattern is random. Ghouls will feed at night and during the day. They will stumble through an area rather than deliberately searching it. Certain zones or structures will not be singled out as more likely to contain prey. For example, some have been known to search farmhouses and other rural structures, while others have moved by without even a glance. Urban zones take more time to explore, which is why the undead remain longer in these areas. But no building will take precedence over another. Zombies seem to be totally unaware of their surroundings. They do not, for example, move their eyes in a way that would take in the information of a new setting. Shuffling silently, with a 1,000-yard stare, they will wander aimlessly, regardless of location, until prey is detected. As discussed earlier, the undead possess an uncanny ability to home in on a victim's precise location. Once contact is made, the previously silent, oblivious automation transforms into something more closely related to a guided missile. The head turns immediately in the direction of its victim. The jaw drops, lips retract, and, from the depths of its diaphragm comes the moan. Once contact is made, zombies cannot be distracted by any means. They will continue to pursue their prey, stopping only if they lose contact, make a successful kill, or are destroyed. Motivation. Why do the undead prey upon the living? If it has been proven that human flesh serves no nutritional purpose, why does their instinct drive them to murder? The truth eludes us. Modern science, combined with historical data, has shown that living humans are not the only delights on the undead menu. Rescue teams entering an infested area have consistently reported them stripped of all life. Any creatures, no matter what their size or species, will be consumed by an attacking zombie. Human flesh, however, will always be preferable to other life forms. One experiment presented a captured specimen with 2 identical cubes of meat, one human, one animal. The zombie repeatedly chose human. Reasons for this are still unknown. What can be confirmed, beyond any shadow of doubt, is that instinct brought on by Solanum drives the undead to kill and devour any living creature they discover. There appear to be no exceptions. Killing the dead. While destroying a zombie may be simple, it is far from easy. As we have seen, zombies require none of the physiological functions that humans need to survive. Destruction or severe damage of the circulatory, digestive, or respiratory systems would do nothing to a member of the walking dead, as these functions no longer support the brain. Simply put, there are thousands of ways to kill a human, and only one to kill a zombie. The brain must be obliterated by any means possible. Disposal. Studies have shown that Solanum can still inhabit the body of a terminated zombie for up to 48 hours. Exercise extreme care when disposing of undead corpses. The head, in particular, possesses the most serious hazard, given its concentration of the virus. Never handle an undead corpse without protective clothing. Treat it as if you would any toxic, highly lethal material. Cremation is the safest, most effective way of disposal, despite rumors that a pile of burning corpses will spread Solanum in a cloud of smoking plague. Common sense would dictate that any virus is unable to survive intense heat, to say nothing of an open flame. Domestication. To reiterate, the zombie brain has proved, so far, to be tamper-proof. Experiments ranging from chemicals to surgery to electromagnetic waves have yielded negative results. Behavioral modification therapy and such attempts to train the living dead like some kind of pack animal have similarly met with failure. Again, the machine cannot be rewired. It will exist as is, or it will not exist at all.
The voodoo zombie. If zombies are the creation of a virus and not black magic, then how does this explain the so-called voodoo zombie? A person who has died, being raised from his grave, and is doomed to spend eternity as a slave of the living? Yes, it is true that the word zombie originally comes from the Kimbundu word Nzumbi, a term describing a dead person's soul. And yes, zombies and zombification are integral parts of the Afro-Caribbean religion known as voodoo. However, the origin of their name is the only similarity between the voodoo zombie and the viral zombie. Although it is said that voodoo hoongans, priests, can turn humans into zombies by magical means, the practice is rooted in barred, undeniable science. Zombie powder, the tool used by the hoongan for zombification, contains a very powerful neurotoxin. The exact ingredients are a closely guarded secret. The toxin temporarily paralyzes the human nervous system, creating a state of extreme hibernation. With the heart, lungs, and all other bodily functions operating at minimal levels, it would be understandable if an inexperienced coroner declared the paralyzed subject to be dead. Many humans have been buried while in such a state, only to awaken screaming in the pitch darkness of their coffin. So what makes this living human being a zombie? The answer is simple: brain damage. Many who are buried alive quickly use up the air inside their coffins. Those that are recovered, if they are lucky, almost always suffer brain damage from lack of oxygen. These poor souls shamble about with little cognitive skills, or, indeed, free will, and are often mistaken for the living dead. How can you distinguish a voodoo zombie from the genuine article? The telltale signs are obvious. 1. Voodoo zombies show emotion. People suffering from zombie powder-induced brain damage are still capable of all normal human feelings. They smile, cry, even growl with anger if hurt or otherwise provoked, something real zombies would never do. 2. Voodoo zombies exhibit thought. As has been stated before, when a real zombie encounters you, it will immediately home in like a smart bomb. A voodoo zombie will take a moment to try to figure out who or what you are. Maybe it will come toward you. Maybe it will recoil. Maybe it will continue its observation as its damaged brain attempts to analyze the information given it. What a voodoo zombie will not do is raise its arms, drop its jaw, unleash a hellish moan, and stumble directly toward you. 3. Voodoo zombies feel pain. A voodoo zombie that trips and falls will undoubtedly hold its bruised knee and whimper. Likewise, one already suffering from some other wound will nurse it, or, at the very least, be aware of the wound's existence. Voodoo zombies will not ignore deep gashes in their bodies, like a real zombie would. 4. Voodoo zombies recognize fire. This is not to say that they are afraid of open flames. Some that have suffered severe brain damage may not remember what fire is. They will stop to examine it, perhaps even reach out to touch it, but they will recoil once they realize it causes pain. 5. Voodoo zombies recognize their surroundings. Unlike real zombies, who only recognize prey, voodoo zombies will react to sudden changes in light, sound, taste, and smell. Voodoo zombies have been observed watching television or brightly flashing lights, listening to music, cringing at thunder, and even taking notice of one another. This last fact has been critical in several cases of misidentification. Had the zombies in question not reacted to each other, they looked at each other, made noises, even touched each other's faces, they might have been accidentally exterminated. 6. Voodoo zombies do not have hypersense. A human who has suffered the debilitating effects of zombie powder is still a sight-dependent human. He cannot operate perfectly in the dark, hear a footstep at 500 yards, or smell a living being in the wind. Voodoo zombies can actually be surprised by someone walking up behind them. This is not recommended, however, as a frightened zombie might react in anger. 7. Voodoo zombies can communicate. While this is not always the case, many of these individuals can respond to audio-visual signals. Many understand words. Some even comprehend simple sentences. Many voodoo zombies possess the ability to speak, simply, of course, and rarely for extended conversations. 8. Voodoo zombies can be controlled. While not always true, many brain-damaged humans have lost much of their self-realization, making them very susceptible to suggestion. Simply shouting for a subject to halt, or even go away, can be enough to get rid of a voodoo zombie. This has created the dangerous situation of confused people believing they could control or train true zombies. Several times headstrong humans have insisted they could simply command their living dead attackers to stop, as cold, rotting hands grabbed their limbs and dirty, worn teeth bit into their flesh. These people discovered, too late, what they were truly dealing with. These guidelines should give you a good idea of how to tell a voodoo zombie from a true zombie. One final note. Voodoo zombies are almost always encountered in sub-Saharan Africa, the Caribbean, Central and South America, and the southern United States. Although it is not impossible to find someone who has been turned into a zombie by a hooligan elsewhere, the chances of such an encounter are slim. The Hollywood zombie. Since the living dead first stepped onto the silver screen, their greatest enemy has not been hunters, but critics. Scholars, scientists, even concerned citizens have all argued that these movies depict the living dead in a fantastic, unrealistic fashion. Visually stunning weapons, physically impossible action sequences, larger-than-life human characters, and, above all, magical, invincible, even comical ghouls have all added their colors to the controversial rainbow that is the zombie movie. Further criticism argues that this style over substance approach to somnambulist cinema teaches human viewers lessons that may get them killed in a real encounter. These serious charges demand an equally serious defense. While some zombie movies are based on actual events at the behest of the filmmakers and/or their estates, the titles of those movies based on life stories have been omitted. Their goal, indeed the goal of almost every movie in every genre, has always been, first and foremost, to entertain. Unless we are discussing pure documentaries, and even some of those are sweetened, movie makers must take some artistic license to make their work more palatable to the audience. Even movies that are based on actual events will sacrifice pure reality for good storytelling. Certain characters will be an amalgam of real-life individuals. Others may be purely fictional in order to explain certain facts, facilitate the plot line, or simply add flavor to the scene. One might argue that the role of the artist is to challenge, educate, and enlighten her audience. That may be true, but try imparting knowledge to an audience who has either left or fallen asleep within the first 10 minutes of the picture. Accept this basic rule of movie making, and you will understand why Hollywood zombie films stray, in some cases wildly, from the reality on which they are based. In short, use these photoplays as their makers intended, as a source of temporary, light-hearted entertainment, and not a visual aid to your survival. Outbreaks. Although each zombie attack is different, given the number, terrain, reaction of the general populace, etc., its level of intensity can be measured in 4 distinct classes. Class 1. This is a low-level outbreak, usually in a third world country or first world rural area. The number of zombies in this class of outbreak ranges between 1 and 20. Total human casualties, including those infected, range from 1 to 50. The total duration, from the first case to the last known, will range between 24 hours and 14 days. The infested area will be small, no larger than a 20-mile radius. In many cases, natural boundaries will determine its limits. Response will be light, either exclusively civilian or with some additional help from local law enforcement. Media coverage will be light, if present at all. If the media is present, look for common stories like homicides or accidents. This is the most common type of outbreak, and also the easiest to go unnoticed. Class 2. Urban or densely populated rural areas are included in this level of outbreak. Total zombies will range between 20 and 100. Total human casualties may reach as high as several hundred. The duration of a Class 2 attack may last no longer than a Class 1 outbreak. In some cases, the larger number of zombies will spark a more immediate response. A rural, sparsely populated outbreak may extend to a 100-mile radius, while an urban outbreak may encompass only several blocks. Suppression will almost certainly be organized. Bands of civilians will be replaced by local, state, even federal law enforcement. Look for an additional, if low-level, military response. The National Guard in the United States, or its equivalent abroad. Most often, so as to ease panic, these units will take a more non-combatant role, providing medical assistance, crowd control, and logistical support. Class 2 outbreaks almost always attract the press. Unless the attack occurs in a truly isolated area of the world, or one where the media is strictly controlled, the story will be reported. This does not mean, however, that it will be reported accurately. Class 3, a huge crisis. Class 3 outbreaks, more than any other, demonstrate the clear threat posed by the living dead. Zombies will number in the thousands, encompassing an area of several hundred miles. The duration of the attack and a possible lengthy mop-up process could last as long as several months. There will be no chance for a press blackout or cover-up, even without media attention. The sheer magnitude of the attack will leave too many eyewitnesses. This is a full-blown battle, with law enforcement replaced by units of the regular military. A state of emergency will be declared for the infested zone, as well as the neighboring areas. Expect martial law, restricted travel, rationed supplies, federalized services, and strictly monitored communication. All these measures, however, will take time to implement. The initial phase will be one of chaos, as those in power come to grips with the crisis. Riots, looting, and widespread panic will add to their difficulties, further delaying an effective response. While this is happening, those living within the infested area will be at the mercy of the undead. Isolated, abandoned, and surrounded by ghouls, they will have only themselves to depend on. Class 4. See Living in an Undead World, pages 154 to 81. Detection. Every undead outbreak, regardless of its class, has a beginning. Now that the enemy has been defined, the next step is early warning. Knowing what a zombie is will not help if you are unable to recognize an outbreak before it's too late. This does not entail building a zombie command post in your basement, sticking pins in a map, and huddling around the shortwave radio. All it requires is looking for signs that would slip by the untrained mind. These signs include: 1. Homicides in which the victims were executed by headshots or decapitation. It has happened many times. People recognize an outbreak for what it is and try to take matters into their own hands. Almost always, these people are declared murderers by the local authorities and prosecuted as such. 2. Missing persons, particularly in wilderness or uninhabited areas. Pay careful attention if one or more of the search members end up missing. If the story is televised or photographed, watch to see what level of armament the search parties carry. Any more than one rifle per group could mean that this is more than just a simple rescue operation. 3. Cases of violent insanity in which the subject attacked friends or family without the use of weapons. Find out if the attacker bit or tried to bite his victims. If so, are any of the victims still in the hospital? Try to discover if any of these victims mysteriously died within days of their bite. 4. Riots or other civil disturbances that began without provocation or other logical cause. Common sense will dictate that violence on any group level does not simply occur without a catalyst, such as racial tension, political actions, or legal decisions. Even so-called mass hysteria can always be traced to a root source. If none can be found, the answer may lie elsewhere. 5. Disease-based deaths, in which either the cause is undetermined or seems highly suspect. Deaths from infectious disease are rare in the industrialized world compared to a century ago. For this reason, new outbreaks always make the news. Look for those cases in which the exact nature of the disease is unexplained. Also, be on the alert for suspicious explanations, such as West Nile virus or mad cow disease. Either could be examples of a cover-up. 6. Any of the above in which media coverage was forbidden. A total press blackout is rare in the United States. The occurrence of one should be regarded as an immediate red flag. Of course, there may be many reasons other than an attack of the living dead. Then again, any event causing a government as media conscious as our own to clamp down merits close attention. The truth, no matter what it is, cannot be good. Once an event has tricked your sensors, keep track of it. Note the location and its distance from you. Watch for similar incidents around or near the original site. If, within a few days or weeks, these incidents do occur, study them carefully. Note the response of law enforcement and other government agencies. If they react more forcefully with each occurrence, chances are that an outbreak is unfolding.
Yo, that was part 1 of the Zombie Survival Guide. It's a really good book. Probably find the other parts online if you just want to listen to it online, or you can go buy it. It's worth the read. It's worth the have. Like I said, it's pretty much the Bible of the scenario. Yo, I'm about to get up out of here. It's 4:52 a.m. here. I'm not tired, but I got a couple other things I would like to do before I do go to bed. Probably check out some anime. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share. Why am I even saying this, right? Why am I saying this? We got this guy to say it, right?
What's up, nieces and nephews? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share.
If you want to support, hit up my Cash App at $UncBe Streaming. Any donation will be greatly appreciated. Thanks in advance.
He said, well, I'm prepared. See, look. That other guy was talking shit an hour ago, but just like that, niggas is ready. Get more and more ready every time we talk about this. It might seem weird, it may seem strange, it may seem goofy, but whenever something happened that you don't like happening, you might be like, man, this goofy nigga, what did he say about this? What did they say on that video about that? You just never know, even if you don't remember that you learned it from here. You could be like, hey, everybody grab a weapon. And you see your brother, yeah, I'm going to get this axe. Like, bro, the axe not a good pick. The range is swing too wide, especially if you miss. The drawback too much. The weapon gets stuck too easily. You got to keep the blade sharpened. Put that down.
You can't make this shit up. You can't make this shit up.
Him like, dude, just trust me, man. I know this. But really, though, you know it from over this way. But yeah, I'm going to skedaddle and skedaddle. Yeah, we out of here, people. We out of here.
Type shit.
Stop playing with me, Dre. DJ K.
Come on, I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit. Activities. I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit. Activities. Posted up on the island with a bitch. They call me cause I ain't on that dumb shit. Yeah, I'm rich, but act broke with a bitch. Duval day, I really do it for the kids. Getting checks, never gotta work a job. No Viagra, dick still get hard. I can make your auntie swipe a credit card. OG in the game, realest that you ever. Aunties get down on the floor. Show these poor ass hoes how it go. Back it up like Freak Week 94. Is she under 24? It's a no. Come on, I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit. Activities. I'm doing up shit. Fuck all that young shit. I'm cool with up shit. Type shit.
What's up, nieces and nephews? Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and please share. It really helps the channel out, and you already know. I appreciate y'all big time. I'll catch you on the next one. Stay cool.
Give a nigga a break. Give a nigga a break. How much more can I take? Give a nigga